Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Loshak in the Bag Show. September 28th, I'm Peter Loshak. He is Jimmy the Bag. We've been doing this for a bunch of years, started up every Tuesday. It's been a fun time. Baseball, I've had overall a profitable year. Modestly profitable, 2%. My picks in the show officially, I'm not exactly sure, but I know my advice overall has been more good than bad. Jimmy the Bag, I don't know, I got a new hat here. I got a mother load of shades here that I might test out for luck. I don't know, man. I'm picking at straws here, doing whatever I can, doing the best I can. Jimmy the Bag, how's the week gone for you? Now I'm very curious. Are you, because I know you can get hot. You can get hot. The key in sports betting and in life, though, is to ride it out and ride the ups, not let the downs get too steep, not get too freaked out when the inevitable downs come. How are things going with you, Jimmy the Bag?
Things are going well. The ridiculous hot streak I'm on has stopped. In the 7 shows before Friday, I was up a little over 13 units in MLB, over 11 units in NFL. I lost 2.15 units on Friday. I made a mistake getting in on the Mariners late on Friday, and then because I got in late, it wasn't that late, but by 10:30 in the morning, it was minus 130. Everybody else was getting minus 120. In anger, I took them on the minus 1 line at plus 102, and that pushed. Would have been a little better. But I'm so close to the black on a year, and 646 bets. And I'm so close to the black. I've only put 2 bets in this morning. But Pete, there's something going on right now that is bigger than you and I, and I want to
bigger than you and I. Okay,
bigger than you and I. I want to give a big shout out to my favorite family in sports handicapping, the Nut Flush Allen family.
Hell yeah.
It is Skylar's 12th birthday today, and she right now is on her way to Universal Studios. Sadly, Mike Nut Flush Allen had to work, but Kristen is driving, so it's Skylar, Ari, Bailey, Kristen, and Jessica heading to Universal Studios right now to celebrate Skylar's 12th birthday. So I want to give a big, big happy birthday to Skylar. A big San Francisco Giants fan. Her team is running hot, and I hope she has a wonderful, wonderful day celebrating her birthday.
Definitely. I want to take this time also to shout out to Nutflush Allen himself, who his insights into the San Francisco Giants have been very valuable all year long. Thank you for that. Huge shout out to Skylar. Huge shout out to the entire Nutflush family. I make this joke many times, and I'll make it again because it's true. What's more important, sports betting wins or family and the love of a family? It's very close, but the answer is family. Huge shout out to the Nutflush Allen family.
Yes, big, big, big shout out. Sammy Culmer in the house. Henry Dice. Sammy Culmer, play of the day. Jays first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 116. He's also on Milan as a pick 'em, Man City money line, and Liverpool money line. Henry Dice, coming off a rough week in NFL, was not what I wanted, and there were so many gifts in NFL this week, and I still ended up 8 and 11. 19 bets at $200 a pop is the most I've ever invested in a Sunday card, and I didn't. It was too much. It was 12 hours of just pacing back and forth, and it was not as fun. I still love it, but still, I was just too much pressure. Pressure.
You made 19 bets on the NFL card.
Yeah.
And how did they go? How'd they go?
8 and 11. It went poorly. I lost the under last night, under 52. I made Sonny Vega was on our Sunday show, and he broke down why he was on the first half under in Rams Buccaneers, and I was already on the Rams, and because I was at a point where I was like kind of reaching near the end of the day, I added on the full game under. So I had the first half under, I had the Rams, and I added on the full game under. Like I was just reaching, and
you don't really want to reach, but it's. I mean, sometimes you also want to leave money on the table. We've been through this many times, Jimmy the Bag. I don't know. This is an interesting time in baseball. I'm feeling, I think my official picks in this show overall are probably negative, but that's because I'm just too chicken to give the big underdogs that have done so well for me this year. And this is an interesting time of year, but I think that this card I think has a few bets I've already made that I think are probably positive EV, and we'll see. I had a big ass head. This hat isn't fitting at all, so I don't know, but it'll be a fucking big ass. Yeah, I don't know how I feel this new hat, but yeah, the hat's not the problem. It's my fucking big ass head. Fucking cranium that's just not working with it. I don't know. All right, maybe I got a mother load of shades here. I'm just reaching for luck. You know what I mean? Luck is an important part of sports betting as well, and you have to be. You have to have appropriate money management and be appropriately superstitious at the same time. So that's what I'm reaching for here, Jimmy.
Well, I'm looking forward to see the glasses that you choose to rock with to get this show started. Let's give a couple more shouts out while Loshak picks the glasses that will bring him glory today. Gerald Jones, Viper NB, The Sweaty Butcher, Joshua Keokunlaya, Michael Irvalina, Doyle, a.k.a. Beefcake, says Rise and Grind Moneymakers. Mike M. Dan Kelly says that Jimmy the Bag and Pete could beat the Ryder Cup Euros. Mark Schillingberg, Nasty Nate, Shamar Moore. What a great group. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Daddy Don, the road is on Marlins Moneyline Boston team total over. Matty Ice says biggest MLB card of the year for me.
No way. Really?
I can't wait to hear that. Tyrone Coleman, Ski Profit, Matty Ice, Michael Irvalina, Real Deal Prime, Ick Schnizzle, Boogie Maine, Tony Cobbs, TJ, Bobby Butcher, or Bobby Boucher, I should say. Sorry, I never know whether to not use a little bit of a French-Canadian touch on some of these names. Matty Ice, 3 Taint Tuesday. We have a 3 Taint Tuesday, so let's lock this in.
No way.
Right
Really?
now, a 3 Taint Tuesday.
Really?
It starts with the Cubs, Pittsburgh, first five.
Let me guess. Oh, sorry. I just want to guess. What could he possibly be seeing here except for St. Louis and, maybe Colorado first five and maybe, I don't know, maybe Toronto. What's he seeing?
Cubs, Pirates, first five over 4.5.
Okay.
Philly, Atlanta, full game under 7.5.
Wow. Okay.
Pop that in here. So there we go. Philly, Atlanta. Where's that one right here at 7:20 p.m.? So I got that one ready to go. And then he closes shop up with Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Total basis over 1.5, and he's coming off a 5-0 day there. 3 Taint Tuesday. I believe this is our first 3 Taint Tuesday of the year. So
shout out to Crystal Warren. If I don't have a winning day officially on today's show, I will set up a farmers only profile for everyone to laugh at.
Yes, that was what she said on Tuesday, and I enjoyed it so much that she said on Tuesday that I had it on my car. I had it on my card on Wednesday as well. It's not here, but I believe she used the term would rake tail.
Yeah. All right. If I don't have a winning day here, I will officially set up a farmers only profile and show you guys all, and you guys can have a good time with it.
I'm excited about that. Arthur Mead Jr., Slatsy here. Crystal Warren, whom we love, capping with Eric Jones, Mike M, Cheshire Cat. Ick Schnizzle says, personally, Jimmy, I'd rather leave money on the table rather than forcing. I've learned that the hard way forcing takes away part of your whole capping process. For me, it was that I was hammering the Kraken. I was just so involved in the action that I just wanted more of it. It was a mistake. Rodney Barton, Polo this, Polo that. Kev Riley, Birdie says, I can confirm TJ is the best golf capper out there. Money every tournament. Wow, there's Birdie giving TJ a shout out. Real Jolly Roger, Alex H, Sean Thompson, Dan Kelly, Ross Pitts, Morgan Spooner, Dav Fenn. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. It is time to get to work. Kev Riley coming off a big day as well. Said small card Seattle Dallas game went 6-2. I love it. There's Dutch Boy Fresh who went 4-2 on our big NFL show Sunday morning. He was excellent as always. All right, it is time to get to work, Pete. And I've only made 2 bets so far on this card. And
let me guess. One of them was Toronto.
No.
Okay.
I will not back Hyunjin Ryu under any circumstances whatsoever.
Really? Okay, well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk
about that. Game 1, we're going to start with the double dip, 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Miami Marlins at New York Mets. Marlins are 64-91, 24-53 on the road. Mets 73-82, 44-33 at home. Citi Field in Queens, New York. And I just need to say that I love this so much. I love the opportunity to cap with Pistol Pete, Loshak, all the great cappers on the chat to start a week here with you guys. honored and thankful to have this opportunity, and I don't take it lightly. I work my ass off to prepare, and then I come here and I sit with you guys, and I think, God, this feels so good. I'm so thankful for this. Let's go. Citi Field, Queens, New York, 76 Fahrenheit rain, 7 miles per hour sideways. We have Trevor Rogers going up against Marcus Stroman. Rogers, the lefty, 7-8, 2.67 ERA, 1.17 whip, 128 innings, 151 Ks, 46 walks, 6 home runs. Broken down from a psychological aspect by the great Noli Knows was very, very interesting. Rogers had to deal with his grandparents dying of COVID, his mom becoming deathly ill with COVID, but looks like she's turned the corner and will survive. And he was on his way fighting for Rookie of the Year honors. And he has taken the difficulty that he went through with his family. He took almost a month off to be with them. And he's focused. He's focused. I don't know if that is showing with his numbers over the last few weeks. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, just one of which were earned. No homers, 2 walks, 10 Ks, and a 7-1 loss at home versus the Nats. Going up against the Stro Show, 9-13, 3 ERA, 1.14 whip, 174 innings, 154 Ks, 42 walks, 16 home runs. In his last start, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 6-3 loss at the Red Sox. The Marlins aren't hitting righties, 238, 693 OPS over the last 30 days. And the Mets aren't hitting lefties over the last 30 days, 242, 700 OPS. Marlins bullpen, last 30 days, been very good, 3.30 ERA. While the Mets bullpen at 4.21 ERA has not been very good over the last 30 days. All right, let's set the table for Pistol Pete Loshak. This is game 1 of the double dip. And where is it?
Dude, let's make a Loshak. Let's make a low bag movie. I want to make a low bag movie. We don't need a plot or a script. We'll just improvise it. It'll be fun as hell, Jimmy the Bag.
I would like that very, very much.
Take a look at the screen right now, Jimmy the Bag. Take a look at me. This is a nice look here. Fix it all with these shades.
Pete, what would you call the movie? What
right,
would the title
410
of the movie be?
And
give me a week. give me a couple of days to think about it. You do need a title. Title's all you need, though. Catchy title. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
I don't know why this isn't here, but I've got it here. At this point, I don't know why it's not set up with my odds page, but the Mets are at minus 165 right now. This total's at 5.5, juice to the under. Marlins, Mets, game 1 of the double dip. Get away, Pete.
Maybe the plot could be we're extremely successful bettors, and Jose, the young buck, comes to us looking to be bankrolled, and we're suspicious but secretly admire him. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Jay. Sorry. All right. I'll keep things focused here. This one is obviously a doubleheader at the end of the year. Most of these games, there's a few bets that I've made, but I'm waiting to see what the lineups are for a lot of these games, especially this one with the doubleheader. Trevor Rogers, at the very end of the year, things can get a little bit dicey and iffy, especially for pitchers who have had a strong season, especially for pitchers who are young and have had a strong season. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes they kind of mail it in their last start of the season, and that could happen here. Rogers has that profile, so I'm going to think twice about betting on Miami here. Also, Stroman got hit at Fenway in his last start, which I sort of suggested might happen. It might be a down spot for him. This is probably a much better spot for him. I'm guessing another 6-2 start from him here. But at this line, and especially how Rogers has been this year, I can't take the Mets at 167. I haven't bet this one. I'm looking at it and thinking about it. We'll see what happens when the lineups come out. Also, there's rain in the forecast for this game, so it's I can't give an official pick on this one. That's what I'm thinking about, though. I'm careful about when the games matter, like in the Atlanta Philly game. Then if there's a starting pitcher who's had a great season and he's pitching in his last start where it matters, then I'm not expecting a letdown. But if the game doesn't matter, either because the team's out of the playoffs or looking forward to the playoffs, a lot of times you get unexpected letdowns from starters, especially who've had good seasons, who have great seasons, especially younger guys like Rogers.
With Trevor Rogers going through the death of his grandparents and his near death of his mom and coming back focused, I have no problem expecting him to step up in these last couple starts because he took almost a month off. But the rain is an issue.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable to make a move here. DX Filer says betting with the bag starring Jimmy the Bag and Carmen Sandiego.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Very nice. Very nice.
We have two pimp slap plays of the day right here. There's Red Girl in the house. Great to see you, Red Girl. So I'm going to copy the first play of the day for pimp slap. But I'm not. It's the rain that makes me the most uncomfortable. Let's just go through the baseball data here. Batter versus pitcher on this first spot. We have against Rogers 167, 545 OPS. 167, 545 OPS. And then against Stroman, 192, 433 OPS. Both pitchers strong right now. And then we'll go over to the cash flow. And, a sign of I'll get into it. I need to start trusting some of these market moves. It was so clear the market was all over the over in the Mariners-A's game last night.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of taking me off the under, it should have got me on the over. I don't know why it just takes me off the under, but we can get into that later.
Just because of a market move. You don't want to chase. That's a mistake that a lot of beginner gamblers make, and I make it myself sometimes still. You don't want to chase market moves because sometimes you'll cash, but more often than not you'll wind up losing. You don't want to chase market moves in the bag.
Well, this market move was stating that 85% of the cash was on the over in a game where you might expect with flexing at home that the game to go under.
Mm-hmm.
It got me off the under, but clearly there was an expectation that Flexen was going to get touched. And we know that Cole Irvin's going to get touched a little bit. So if Flexen is going to get touched, then how does that game not go over? I mean, it was over by the fourth inning. But 2,698 tickets on this first game. 62% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the Mets. 61% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the under. I, as well, with the rain, am going to skip it. Next game, we're going to talk about, just finish off with this double dip, Marlins, Mets. Trevor Williams on the hill, and we don't have a pitcher that we know will be facing him at this point, or do we? Yes, Castano. Castano will be on the other side. Williams has gone from minus 164 to minus 168, 4-cent move towards the Marlins. This total has gone from 6 to 5.5, and I know we want to watch the first game before we make a decision on the second game, but Trevor Williams has very interesting splits. Pete, at home 3-0, 2.49 ERA. Opponents hitting 237 against them. On the road 1-2, 6.94 ERA, 351 opponents batting average. He's at home here. What is your expectation of Trevor Williams in this start? And do you think that the Mets may have value with him on the bump?
Maybe. We'll see what the lineups are. We'll see how game one goes. But I'm definitely going to be looking at my first thought is under, without knowing who the starters are and who's going to be in the lineups and what the lines are. My first thought is maybe an under.
All right. Well, there is your double dip. Rain is a problem, so we'll have to see if the first game goes. The rain's supposed to be gone by 10 at night, but at that point, are they going to try to get the first game of the double dip in? Very interesting to see what happens due to rain. All right, we keep rolling. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Michael O'Brien, Eric Chang. Michael O'Brien says, how the hell are Cardinals an underdog? I can't wait to talk about that game. Real Jolly Roger, Harrell Williams. Let's go. The first 9-inning game on the board today is the first taint play of the day. Chicago Cubs at Pittsburgh Pirates, and we have reached sweet, unabashed taint. Up 27 on the road, Pirates 34-41 at home. PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 72 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to right. Alec Mills on the hill for the Cubbies, 67, 4.83 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, 110 innings, 82 Ks, 30 walks, 14 runs allowed. His last start at home versus Twins was not very good. 4 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 1 homer, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Going up against Mitch Keller, 5-11, 5.96 ERA, 1.75 WHIP, 93 2/3, 87 Ks, 45 walks, 10 home runs. Last start was good. It was at the Reds. It was an easy casher for me. First 5 at plus 170, 5 2/3, and he went up in that spot. He went up against Tyler Mahle. It was just, we know what Mahle has been so predictable this year, and it stayed true to form. And Keller, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 Ks. And Keller has splits just like Mahle. At home, 2-8, 7.76 ERA, 341 opponents batting average. While on the road, 3-3, 3.57 ERA, 279 opponents batting average. His last home start was good. I wonder if he can turn it around, or should we just trust the numbers? Cubs are smashing righties right now. Last 30 days, 256, 795 OPS. Pirates versus righties last 30 days, 233, 694 OPS. Cubs bullpen 5.29 ERA over the last 30. Pirates bullpen 4.61 ERA over the last 30 days. All right, Pete, our first 9-inning game on the board. This total opened up at 9. Now at 8.5. Mitch Keller and the Buccos open up as minus 110 favorites at Pinnacle. Now the Cubs are slight favorites at minus 106. Pistol Pete, Loshak, Cubbies, Pirates, take it away.
Yeah, I didn't bet this one on the overnight lines. This is a game, where I could have a bet by first pitch. I do wind up having bets on most games by first pitch, not all, but most games. Both starters are definitely vulnerable, very vulnerable to put it mildly. Keller's not been getting strikeouts, so, I'm not a buyer on him here. But again, I'm always thinking 3 and 4 times before I'm taking an over in Pittsburgh, especially against, a team like the Cubs who, doesn't have the most fearsome lineup in the world, although they've been kind of productive over the past bunch of weeks. I understand, like in the Cubs here, the market move to the Cubs. I was leaning that way myself. I'm a little bit less down on Mills than I am on Keller in this spot. And, the Cubs tend to beat the Pirates, which, I think is mostly due to variance. But I would rate their lineup as a little bit stronger at the moment as well. So I would have a small lean to the Cubs. Probably any betting value has been eaten up by the market move. I didn't bet it on the opener. And I hope that the taint play cashes. I can certainly endorse it. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had a free play on the first 5 total, I'd much rather have the over than the under. I would say that right now. And might be tailing it by first pitch. We'll see. Who knows?
Against Alec Mills, these Buccos are hitting 321 with a 1.093 OPS. Against Keller, I said the Cubs are hitting. Against that. Oh, sorry, the Bucks. Sorry, I was right. Buccos against Alec Mills. Against Keller, the Cubs are hitting 359 with a 995 OPS. So both pitchers have been touched by the opposition. When we go to the cash flow in this spot, just 1,967 tickets in. We have 56% of the tickets, 39% of the cash on the Cubs. Surprising that the market move is towards the Cubs. Then we have 68% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the over. And yet it's moved from 9 to 8.5. Mixed messages.
Yeah, Yeah, go ahead.
That's it. Just mixed messages. I see Birdie saying, did you see my horseplay above? A Wolverhampton race 2, the 7 gold medal at 8-1. Pedigree is insane. And William Buick seals the deal. First-time starter for 2-year-olds. So we've got 2 horseplays given out. I don't know if you missed, our guy Fap Win also gave one out. So I'm just going to pop this one in. This was Fap Wins as well. He's attacking with a substantial wager. I love when I hear that from Fap Win. And let's just pop that right there. Okay, so no move for me in this spot. Pete, are you staying off?
Yeah, although I could easily see myself winding up tailing that taint play and taking the first 5 over. I could see it. I'm going to check the lineups, check a little bit more information, and the Cubs first 5 and full game team total overs. Maybe as well. Maybe.
Interesting. Well, there's the first taint play of the day, and that is the Cubs Pittsburgh Pirates first 5 over 4.5 at minus 115. 3 taint Tuesday. 3 taint Tuesday. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Boston Red Sox at Baltimore Orioles. There was different spots that I wanted on this game, and they all were based on me trusting Bruce Zimmerman in this start. So I wanted the first 5 under 5. It moved to 4.5 before I could get it at Bet365, so I let it go. Then I think that Bruce Zimmerman is capable of having a good start. Sale just saw these guys 2 starts ago, and Sale was good. Sale's only thrown 6 innings on the road this year, just 6 innings on the road. And the first 5 for the O's plus a half was plus 130. I was interested in that, but I pulled the trigger on the first 3 at plus a half at minus 115. And I know that goes against my turning a dog into a favorite. It goes against one of my main rules. But I'm undefeated in first 3 on the plus a half this year. Only 3 bets made, so let's not get carried away. And I just feel like I have a pretty nice situation here with Zimmerman only needing to get through 3 without getting touched to guarantee a cash. And if we can get one run on Sale, I'm in complete business. I really feel like I've got a ton of value here. We're going to break this game down with Pistol Pete Loshak and our man Jose Bouquet. So confidently gave us UTSA to cash at +3, and they were down 21-0 after the first quarter, and he switched seats in the stadium to bring us the glory that was UTSA's winner. And let's just take a look at Jose's record right now on this show. 41-40 plus 3.09 units, ROI plus 3.81%, average line plus 104. He's making me very proud with his success here. And it's not easy. It is not easy to succeed. But when you got a body like that, please welcome Jose for the Say Hey play of the day. Jose, how are you?
I switched seats in a bar, but I'm doing well. Is that what's so funny?
I thought you read the game.
Okay. No, sorry, the game was in Memphis. No, I thought you were laughing at my appearance today.
No.
But no, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing okay. I'm pretty angry, actually. The Red Sox really have me fucking seething angry, actually. But, Jimmy, today's one of those spots I told you every time this number appears, I will be betting it heavily, and I have done so today, and here we are doing it again.
That would be Sale over strikeouts.
Yeah.
And you are in line with Matty Ice. Matty Ice says is also on that. Michael O'Brien says 41-40. That's not that great. When you are put on the spot in front of 200, 300 cappers every day, and you are honest and transparent about your record, a 41-40 with a plus 104 average line with an ROI that's just under 4% is very good. It's very good. And it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to do that. So I disagree. If you just look at win-loss record, sure. I mean, say what you want. But with a plus 104 average line, I'm extremely impressed with his capping. Okay, so we have the Say Hey play today on Sale over 6.5 Ks. What's the juice at that right now?
Bovada, I have it at even money, and Pinnacle, I've got it at minus 104. So Pinnacle really doing me dirty there. So
we'll give you the plus 100. We'll give you the plus 100.
No, but I have bet that heavily already. I told you it's a no. Think about it. Like, you see the 6.5 even money, just like put it on there. Just that's all day. And now you guys are going to tell me, and I'm going to do the voice again, Jimmy. I know you like this voice. Oh, Chris Sale got out there and only threw one strikeout against him last time. What the fuck are you doing? Well, like I said, Chris Sale's a psychopath. Chris Sale is a bona fide psychopath. And he's the kind of guy that goes out there and he's like, you know what? I'm going to fucking go out there and try to pitch differently today. I'm going to try to go away from the strikeouts instead of punching strikeouts like I always do. Goes out there, still has a great outing, only throws one strikeout against these Orioles last time out. Jimmy, career against these Orioles, it's absurd, Jimmy. It's absurd. He has a 12.5 K per 9, 6.5 here for the K total. I mean, come on, dude. And even money again, Jimmy. I made my nut last week. I think it was last week when I bet them at like plus like 123 or something, whatever it was. And now we're giving even money again. I mean, like, come on, dude. And plus, I don't need to say this. The Red Sox need this game as bad as I need to fucking breathe. If the Red Sox lose one of these games, Jimmy, against these Orioles, you might not see me on the show the next day because I am beyond angry with this fucking team that refuses to accept my love and just fucking turns me away and fucking pisses me off every fucking time. Fucking they let that piece of shit Garrett Cole fucking dominate them, and Nathan Eovaldi, my boy, my baby boy, fucking goes out there and has the worst start of his fucking life the same day where I'm fucking out here talking my shit. Except UTSA had to come in and rescue my ass from a truly historically terrible weekend. But god damn it. Let's fucking go, Chris Sale. Do something.
Wow, very heavy on Chris Sale here. Pistol Pete, these Red Sox open up at minus 240. They're just minus 243 right now, a 3-cent move towards them at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 9.5. It's down to 9. Did Pinnacle put it back up to 9? They did. Pinnacle's brought it back up to 9.5. Interesting. So that was 9 most of the morning from 8:04 a.m. until 9:38 a.m. Now it's back up to 9.5. Pistol Pete, Red Sox, Orioles. Both Jose and I have moves on it. Do you?
Yeah, well, I took the under on the opening line at 9.5, and the fact that it's back up to 9.5 is a little bit concerning. You know, these MLB, the guy who was talking about the shitty record of 41-40 with an average up dog line. These market lines are really, really tough. You know what I mean? It ain't 1998 anymore. It ain't even 2006 anymore. These are tough lines. This line is a perfect example. According to my numbers, they are where they should be, but the total is a little bit high, so I took that one. Small edge, according to my numbers, on the under 9.5 at -118. Very small edge, but high confidence in that edge. So I bet it on the overnight line. And you know, first 5, I lean to the first 5 under at 5 as well. I think that the strikeout prop is nice. I hope you guys cash on that one. I don't think I can take a shot with the side here, with either side here. Again, Zimmerman's a bit of a wild card, but there's reason to think he'll be okay. Of course, Boston can crush a guy who's not. We'll see. I took a shot with the under, and I'll give that as an official play. I'll make it official. Under 9.5 -118, current line of Pinnacle.
All right, Pete, under 9.5 at -118. If I can get a 5, I will bet the first 5 under. If I can get a 5, I will bet it. For right now, it's 4.5 plus 100.
Actually, Pinnacle has 116 on the first 5 under.
I really think this Red Sox offense is going to come out motivated. I'm pretty surprised you guys are both on unders.
Well,
I mean, I haven't looked at the Red Sox team total. It's probably like a minus like 150 or something ridiculous like that. But I mean, maybe I'm just being an asshole homer and think this game should be a blowout. But I'm pretty surprised by both of this.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Zimmerman's a big wild card, obviously, for sure. So, and yeah, you don't want to have a wild card starting against a potent lineup. But you know, if the injury weren't a concern here, then the total at 9.5 would have a little value according to my numbers. So I pulled the trigger on it. I acted on it.
Against Zimmerman, these Red Sox are hitting 264 with an 820 OPS. Against Sale, these O's are hitting 250 with a 713 OPS. Let's move over to the Cats.
Also, sorry,
No, please.
just one other thing. Cedric Mullins might be out. I mean, he might be in, he might be out. He has a hamstring issue. That guy Santander, had some leg discomfort in his last game. So, he'll probably be in. I don't know, but we'll see what the lineups are when they come out. But, those would be 2 big bats that are out for Baltimore if they are out.
5,686 tickets in, so a nice sample size, the highest sample size of any game on the card for us here, ticket-wise. 88% of the money line tickets on the Red Sox, 94% of the cash on the Red Sox, 62% of the tickets on the over, 70% of cash on the over. And we have Jose's Say Hey play of the day, Sale over 6.5 Ks at plus 100. I'm on the Orioles first 3 plus a half at minus 115. And I will, if I can get a 5 on the first 5, I will bet it. I will bet it. Pete, on the under, did you say the under 9.5 was down to minus 116?
No, the first 5 is 5 at minus 116.
I'd like that if I could get my hands on it. Under 9.5 minus 118, Sale over 6.5 Ks at plus 100, and the first 3 plus a half minus 115 for me.
Yeah.
Jose, Say Hey play of the day. Thank you for sharing this very passionate diatribe. We wish you the very best. And you are running with Taint. It's not one of the Taint plays of the day, but you're running with Matty Ice, so you're in good hands. And I think that you will I hope that you succeed in this bet.
Thank you. Before I go, Pete, we have a request from the chat.
Okay.
Your favorite commenter, as always, Crystal Warren. Can we get some Freebird from you? Because, for one, apparently
I can't do a good impression of it because I don't listen to that song that much, but I know how it goes. If I leave here tomorrow,
oh God, yeah.
I'm free as a bird, babe. Yeah. And I ain't taking your fucking vaccine, you fucking liberals. If I leave here tomorrow, I still don't take that vaccine, liberals.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
Don't I look like a guy who's going to be, you take that vaccine out of my dead hand before you jab it in my ass. I don't know what that means, but you know what I'm trying to say here.
I've heard that when they jab it in your ass, something else is happening.
You're going to have to take that vaccine out of my dead hand before you jab that in my ass. You see? Let's make it to a little back movie. Let's make it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. It'll be good. Trust me. It'll be good.
He can play himself and then like the antagonist as well. You know, that's trying to just kill the vibes apparently. And
that's not a bad plot, right? Like we Jimmy and I are longtime, huge, successful gamblers, and you come to us looking to be bankrolled, and we're suspicious,
like Doctor Strange.
We're very suspicious, but secretly, you remind us of ourselves when we were your age.
Yes.
We must move on. Jose, that was spectacular work. Red Sox sail over strikeouts and Pete delivering Freebird for us. It can't get better than this, but we have many games to cap. So, Jose, ride off into the sunset. God bless you. And Pete, we get back to work. We move on to the New York Yankees at Toronto Blue Jays. This game is absolutely fascinating. Yankees 89-67, 44-34 on the road at the Blue Jays, 87-69, 43-31 at home. Rogers Center, Toronto, Ontario. It is cold now. We have a chill in the air. Roof will be closed. The second taint play of the day right now is Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Total bases over 1.5 at plus 110. Vladdy Jr. over 1.5 total bases at plus 110. Three Taint Tuesday, that is on the board. Jameson Taillon on the hill for the Bronx Bombers. 8-6, 4.41 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 138 and 2/3, 136 Ks, 42 walks, and 24 home runs. Mike M's Pimp Slap play of the day number 2 is the Yankees' first 5 at plus a half. Mike, what did that cost you? I'd be very interested to see what that cost you for that plus a half. Last start for Taillon was against these very Jays, and it was at home where he's been much better than he's been on the road. At home, 5-2, 3.40 ERA, 2.15 opponent's batting average. On the road, 3-4, 5.66 ERA, 2.72 opponent's batting average. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 5 Ks to the Bluebirds, going up against Hyunjin Ryu. So he is being a major topic in the talk sports radio world up here. What the hell's going on with Hyunjin Ryu? And he hasn't started since September 17th. It was his second start of the row where he got absolutely rocked. 2 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 7-3 loss at home versus the Twins. When I listened to the Jays experts on the radio, they said there's no way that Hyunjin Ryu would get his next start against the Yankees. But he has, and that's because of his career numbers against the Yankees. But can you trust those career numbers after what we've seen from him? His last start, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, and 2 innings. He's not looked good. We are very concerned about him. He's been worse at home than he's been on the road this year. At home, 6-5, 4.92 ERA, 2.67 opponent's batting average. On the road, 7-4, 3.78 ERA, 2.44 opponent's batting average. Yankees aren't hitting lefties, so that'll help. 250, 707 OPS over the last 30 days. Blue Jays are raking righties. 266, 833 OPS against them. Yankees bullpen 4.14 ERA, 1.28 WHIP over the last 30 days. Blue Jays bullpen 3.94 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. The hook will be quick for both of these pitchers. This is a huge, huge game. And the Jays have Barrios and Ray ready for the next 2 games of the series. The Yankees know that they have to win this game because our best pitchers will be pitching the next 2. Let's set the table. Oh, and I'm on the over 5. At first 5 over 5 at minus 115. This full game went from 9.5 down to 9. The Jays opened up minus 119. They're now minus 129. A 10-cent move towards them. Here we go. And it's minus 120, that line on the plus half. Nice job there, Mike M. Brady says he's fat and worn out. Ryu needs to lay off the sandwiches. And he just retracted it. He just retracted it halfway through.
Okay.
Okay, take it away, Pete.
Birdie. Well, yeah. Okay. So this is an interesting game, Jimmy the Bag, and as you know, all that the non-quantifiable research matters a lot. I try to do as much of it as I can, but I certainly don't catch all of it, which is why I trust people who follow a certain team or conference religiously so much. And it sounds like you do that with Toronto. My analysis here is that if Ryu is starting, I'm assuming that he's going to be, standard health for him, and I would be expecting, a good start from him and probably to go relatively deep. But if he gets an early hook, even if he's pitching well, that won't be good because I definitely don't like the Jays bullpen. So I did take Toronto on the overnight line at a decent line and just a modest bet. So if it loses or if it's negative EV, that's fine. But you may have much better insight into this situation than I do. Yeah, Ryu, was terrible in his last two starts. His injury was a tight neck, so I'm not exactly sure what the hell that is. But if he's starting, again, it's if you assume that anyone who's playing is in 100% health, you're going to be wrong sometimes, but most of the time you're going to be right. But that might not be the case here, Jimmy the Bag. What can you tell me about this game that puts you in the situation where you don't want to bet Ryu under any circumstances?
I don't like what I've seen, and I expected him to come back earlier. And when he didn't come back earlier, I thought there was something wrong. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised to see him starting this first game of this enormously important series. Yeah. I do agree with you that when a pitcher is put out there in such an important time of year that he's probably healthy. In between those two starts, and I know that he had the neck issue, but he never complained at all about how he felt physically in between those two starts. He just pitched poorly. And I don't trust him. I don't trust the man. Sure. Right now, and I have throughout his career, but I don't trust him right now, and I certainly don't trust him as a favorite. And I think that Taillon can get touched too. I don't trust Taillon enough to take the other side. I just think that if Ryu was to allow 3 runs in 5 innings, we would consider that an okay start. And if he allows 3 runs in 5 innings, then I'm going to at least push the first 5 over, if not cash it.
Okay. Yeah, you make a good point. I would consider 7 innings and 2 runs the start that I'm looking for, and I might be totally wrong here. Yeah, he might be. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jimmy the Bag.
I don't know if I am, Pete. I don't know if I am because I was talking to Toronto guys this morning on the radio, and they think that Ryu is going to throw well, and they trust his numbers against the Yankees, and they expect a good start from him. So I don't know. I'm not sitting here very confident. Mm-hmm. I know that I don't trust him. That's all. I know that I don't want him on my card, and I don't want him as a favorite. But look, Matty Ice has him. Jays first 5 -1/2. Okay.
Yeah. No. I mean, I trust your take on it. I don't trust your jerk off friends' takes on it. My friend told me. Don't worry about Ryu. My friend told me. Okay. All right, Jimmy the Bag. Listen, I have a position on it, and if it loses, if it's negative EV, but it wins anyway, and I get bailed out, great. You make great points. Yeah, I don't trust Ryu at all. I have Toronto rated significantly higher than the Yankees, both lineup wise and spot wise. And also, I don't like betting against Taillon either. So yeah.
Sammy Comer's on the Jays first 5 team total over 2.5. That's his play of the day. DX Filer, our guy Gamblestein, who has rolled with us since day one, whom we love dearly, likes the over a lot in this spot. All right, let's move on from.
You know what? Just because I'm on it, I'll make it official. I'll make Toronto money line, full game, and official play. How about that, Jimmy the Bag?
I love it. What's the number?
Wow, it's up to 129. See, I got it at 117, and now it's up to 1. I mean, it could come back the other way. What do you think about that? That the market's moved in their favor?
TJ says advanced numbers I look at show this as a very hard pass. I like that money. Let's just take a look at where the money lies actually before we move past this. And what we've already talked about I don't think we have talked. We just talked about Ryu being good against Taillon. The Jays are hitting 304 with a 954 OPS against Ryu 222 with a 643 OPS. When we go to the cash flow in this giant game up here, We go to the cash flow. We have 3,871 tickets in, 54% of the tickets, 46% of the cash on the Jays, then 45% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the over. I like where I stand. I like that you're on the Blue Jays. I want them to win badly, and I'll be watching this game very closely. And
I won't make it official. I mean, you're right. It's you know, if there is an edge, it's just small. Don't like betting against Tyon, and I was assuming that Ryu would be in a good spot, but I might be totally wrong about that. So I will officially pass.
All right, let's move on to 7:20 p.m. Eastern, and we get to Taint 3 of 3 Taint Tuesday. That being Philadelphia Atlanta full game under 7.5 at -105. Taint. Ready to go. 78 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour out to left. We have Jeff Slaughter joining us. He's just tuning in. He missed Freebird. He missed your Freebird breakdown. God damn, Jeff. You missed the best moment. And maybe this shows history. Rich history. Zach Wheeler going up against Charlie Morton. Phillies on the road, 34-41. Braves at home, 37-37. We're at Truist Park, Atlanta, Georgia. Wheeler, 14-9, 2.79 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 240 Ks and 206 in the third. His last start at home versus the Orioles was very good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 Ks. He's been very good at home all year. 7-5, 2.38 ERA, 200 opponent's batting average. On the road, he struggled. Struggled in comparison to at home, and he's always a big favorite, and he's been a nice play against. 7-4, 3.42 ERA, 241 opponent's batting average. Now, he's not been as bad as Nola. Nola's been the best road fade, maybe in the league this year. Morton, 13-6, 3.53 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 176 innings, 203 Ks. Last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a 6-4 loss at the D-backs. At home, Morton 5-3, 4 ERA, 229 opponent's batting average. He's been much better on the road this year, where he's 8-3, 3.06 ERA, 185 opponent's batting average. Phillies versus righties last 30 days, hammering them, 274, 828 OPS. And the Braves aren't missing righties either. They're hitting 258, 785 OPS against them. The Braves bullpen's been very good over the last 30 days, over the last 45 days. 3.09 ERA over the last 30. Phillies bullpen has struggled all year long. The last 30 days is no exception. Table setting time for Pistol Pete Loshak. Morton and the Braves open at -118. At Pinnacle, they're now -122. And they open this first this full game total at 7.5 to the over at -112. It's now -108, a 4-cent move to the under. Pistol Pete Loshak, a game with playoff implications. Phillies Braves, take it away.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I did take a shot with the Philly full game team total over at 3.5. That one I've already bet. Leaning, I don't love the spot for Morton. Morton is solid, but my way of analyzing things indicates that this will be, more likely to be one of his 6 innings and 3-run starts than one of his 7 innings and 2-run starts. So I took a shot with the Philly full game team total over. I might wind up being on Philly first 5, might wind up being on Philly as a dog. Wheeler has been obviously pitching great. This is his last 4 starts, though, were significantly easier than this assignment will be. So, and we know that, before his recent run of excellence, he was having those starts where he was still getting strikeouts but giving up runs as well. So my numbers don't like the over, but my gut likes the over a little bit. I haven't bet that one yet, though. So again, I did bet the Philly full game team total over at 3.5, leaning Philly first 5 in full game as a dog. And that's about it for now.
Interesting. Expecting more to get touched a little bit here. Numbers aren't great against these guys. 286 with a 747 OPS with a huge sample size. 46 for 141. And of those 46 hits, you see the 286 average, not a ton of power. 3 doubles, 2 triples, 4 home runs against them. Odubel Herrera and Bryce Harper have 2 of the jacks, and then Segura has 2 other jacks. And then against Wheeler, they're hitting 261, 759 OPS. 261, 759 OPS. Let's take a look at what the cash flow is. The cash flow. And Daniel Gibbs, thank you very much for the dono. Says, yo, what happened to odds? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I have no idea what happened to them. I know that I'm here very happily at Pub Sports Radio, but I don't know what happened to them. So Philly, Atlanta, 3,429 tickets in. 49% of the tickets on the money line on the Phillies, 64% of the cash. Then we have 31% of the tickets on the under, 67% of cash on the under. So got to feel good there. Got to feel good in that spot for that under 7.5. That is the third taint play of the day. I don't feel confident enough with an edge in this game. I really don't. I can't sit here and put money on one side with a ton of confidence. But I do like what you've done. I do like what you've done going against Morton here. It's just that Braves bullpen has really come together. But 3.5 is a nice low number. And what do we know about the Phillies of late? They're raking. So. I think that their lineup is okay. Makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not in love with their lineup by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, what I look at indicates that this is a bit of a down spot for Morton. I hear you. I'm going to stay away from this spot. I found this card difficult. I do have 2 bets. We've already gone over both of them, so we'll see if there's any additions coming up later in the card. Again, we do have 2 NCAA football games we're going to be talking about, and we have Canadian football tonight. Let's move on to the next spot on the card, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Tigers at Minnesota Twins. I was waiting to see who was going to be pitching for the Minnesota Twins, and we still don't know at this point. I don't know if RotoWire has it up, but we know that Alexander will be on the bump for the Tigers. It said Charlie Barnes, but we were waiting for that to be confirmed, and I don't think it is going to be confirmed. Tyler Alexander, 2-3, 4.10 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 77 Ks, 94 in the third, coming off a bend but don't break start against the White Sox, which he's pretty good at, this kid. 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-3 win at home versus the White Sox. The Twins are hitting just 242, a 706 OPS versus lefties, and both bullpens are pitching so well right now. The Twins' bullpen over the last 30 days is, second in the league behind the Dodgers. The Tigers' bullpen's been very good as well. And Puzzler still says Barnes. I don't think it's going to be Barnes, but I don't know if Pete has any insight on that. Pete, what is your feeling here on Tyler Alexander and target field here? Is there any angle before we know who is for sure pitching?
No, not really. I mean, you really have to see the lines. I've been kind of high on Detroit since they started playing as a big underdog game in and game out with some life to them. But again, the key there is underdog. You know what I'm saying? If Detroit comes out and they're like minus 130 here, obviously I'm not going to be on them. So we'll see what the line is. Tyler Alexander, not too terrible, not too good. Just nothing to say without the lines.
Stan Lynch with some great stats. Thanks, Stan, my man. He says Alexander, a lefty, Twins 18-35 versus left-handed starters. So we'll see when this market comes out. Maybe it's ready to go by the end of the show. Okay, let's move past that spot and move on to the.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I my note is look for the under when it comes out. That's my note. I'm thinking about the under when we see what the line is and who the starter is for Minnesota.
I agree. Mark Schlingberg says Pineda. I agree. I like the under. I love the way these bullpens are throwing right now. I can trust Tyler Alexander to bend and not break.
Yeah.
And the Twins aren't hitting lefties. I agree with you. I'm going to add that to here. I think that this under, and it'd be a full game under. The wind's also blowing in. And Mark Schlingberg says no, Pineda is tomorrow. So we're still waiting to see what's going on. And there's Birdie with a look in the Sabres and with the Sabres and the Rangers. And he started out, I believe, 5-0. I'd have to double check that in the NHL, but he's just raking. He's raking in all sports right now. He's a hell of a capper. Okay, let's move on to Brewers Cardinals next up, 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Big game. Brewers 94-62, 49-26 on the road at the Cardinals, 87-69, 42-33 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. 86 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour, sideways right across the diamond. Brandon Woodruff going up against Adam Wainwright. Woodruff 9-10, 2.52 ERA, 0.95 WHIP. 175 in the third, 208 Ks, 43 walks. Last start was at home versus these very Redbirds. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. With Wainwright on the other side, who's not looked quite as good lately, and you wonder if he is dealing with a little bit of arm fatigue, but he's been so good this season. 16-7, 3.05 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 203 innings, man, he just keeps ticking. But his last start was a win at the Brewers. His offense bailed him out. 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 1 K. At home, his splits were really extreme in the beginning of the year. He's fixed that. He's been very good on the road. But at home, he's been better. 8-5, 2.72 ERA, 218 opponents batting average. The Brewers aren't hitting righties right now. Last 30 days, 240, 721 OPS. And the Cardinals really aren't hitting righties that hard either. It's the lefties they're destroying. Righties, 251, 741 OPS. Cardinals bullpen's been so good. 3.14 ERA over the last 30 days. And Brewers bullpen, 4.70 ERA over the last 30 days. Jeff Slaughter with a parlay here in soccer. He's been destroying in soccer right now. So take a good look at that. Atletico Madrid, AC Milan draw at +2. Oh, that's not a parlay. Sorry, that's just a bet. Atletico Madrid, AC Milan draw at +205. Michael O'Brien says a word that I'm not using. Right there. I'll just pop it up because I don't talk about what happened previously. I've been just using each game as an individual entity, and it's been working for me. But I understand that is a part of it, Michael O'Brien. Let's set this table here for Pistol Pete Loshak. The Cards open up as favorites, and now the Brewers are real, legitimate favorites at -114. So it's slight favorites at the Cards opening at -106. Now the Brewers are -114 favoriits. This total opened up at 7, juiced to the over at -116. It's now juiced to the under at -107. So pretty big market move there. Pete, huge game. Take it away, Brew Crew Cards.
Yeah, well, I on the overnight line, I did take St. Louis. I got 112, which was a good line. Wainwright, veterans like Wainwright get the benefit of the doubt and a half coming off of bad starts, especially in big games. Which doesn't mean that there might not be something wrong with him. Just saying he gets a benefit of the doubt and a half. I am going to before first pitch look into some other stuff to see if there's an indication that maybe there is something fundamentally wrong with him. But probably he was facing a tough lineup. Got a little unlucky, got a little touched up, and that was that, and gave up a bunch of runs. The issue here, though, is that I don't know how long the Milwaukee's going to have Woodruff in there because they clinched the NL Central. Who knows who's going to be in the lineup for these guys? And the Cards are home dog. The winning streak is, the streak itself, maybe due to variance, but their excellence is not at all. I remember when they, I don't even remember what it was, like right around when they got a bunch of guys back from injury. I mentioned on this show, and I think a few other of the astute cappers in the comments section also mentioned that they were on St. Louis and were starting to be, favorable towards them going forward long term. And so their excellence is not a is not an accident as far as I'm concerned. I don't like betting against Woodruff. The fact that Wainwright got hit in his last start and he's the age that he is a little bit concerning. And if the bet loses, that's fine. But I bet St. Louis as a dog on the overnight line.
Interesting.
It's not just Milwaukee's postseason fate is determined now. So we don't know who's going to be in the lineup for them.
I have a slight lean to Brewers first 5, but I don't know if I want to move on it. Let's talk about the baseball data, then move into the cash, and then decide if we're going to move on. Against Woodruff, these guys are hitting 185 with a 550 OPS. Wow. Against Wainwright, 253 with a 719 OPS. Then we move over to the cash flow in this spot. Huge, huge game right now. And we have 4,085 tickets in. 70% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the Cards. Then we have 51% of the tickets, 96% of the cash on the under. Wow. I have a slight lean to the Brewers first 5, but I don't know.
Look, if Woodruff, he's off a full week of rest, and if he comes in and goes 5 innings, that's why I don't like St. Louis first 5. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's I slightly. I may pull the trigger. I don't want to sit here and hum and haw. We got lots of work still to do, so let's move on. And you got the Cards at the plus line. Do you have any interest in making that official?
All right, sure. Why not? Yeah, I'll make it official. Well, plus 106, I'm seeing at Pinnacle right now. I will make it official. St. Louis full game plus 106.
All right, we move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels at Texas Rangers. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Angels 74-82, 34-40 on the road. Rangers 57-99, 33-42 at home. And I don't have information on the roof, but I expect it to be closed. Crystal Warren says, I'm off this game, talking about this Giant Cards Brewers game. She says, I'm just going to sit at home with my Wainwright voodoo doll full of pins and hope for the best for my Reds. I love it. Packy Naughton going up against AJ Alexi. Naughton 0-3, 5.23 ERA, 1.65 whip, 20 2/3, 12 Ks, 11 walks, 3 home runs. His last start at home to the Astros, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 1 K, and a 10-5 loss at home. I was quite confident that he was going to get touched by the Astros, and that was the first 5-1 that I was on. And it cashed easily. Going up against AJ Alexi, the 23-year-old 11th round pick out of high school, Twin Valley High School in Elverson, Pennsylvania in 2016. He was incredible in AAA. I don't know much about him. I had to study him this morning. In AAA this year, 3-1, 1.66 ERA, 1.02 whip, 76 Ks in 65 innings, 27 walks in those 65, and 6 home runs allowed. Very good. The Angels aren't hitting righties, 218, 649 OPS. Rangers aren't hitting lefties, although this number has gone up. It was putrid before. It's now 211, 600 OPS. Ricky Levine says Texas. TJ says, if you bet this game, you are a degen, and I love you. Angels bullpen, 4.59 ERA over the last 30 days. Rangers bullpen has still been good over the last 30 days, 3.71 ERA. Let's set this table for Pistol Pete Loshak, an interesting one. And one where I do have interest in AJ Alexi and backing him here with Texas. But the market has moved slightly towards the Angels. The Rangers opened up -105 to the -103 that were the Angels. Now the Angels are -108 favorites and up to -120 at some books. This total's gone from 9.5 down to 9. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, I guess it's a pass. Numbers indicate lean to the under at 9.5 or 9 as a dog. Numbers also indicate value with the Angels, but low confidence, and so I'm throwing that out. If you gave me a free bet on it, I'd take the under, and it's not unthinkable that I'll actually have a bet on that by first pitch. Lean to the under.
A lean to the under. I can't. I wanted to talk myself into AJ Alexi and the Rangers. I don't think I can do that. Let's just see where the cash lies here in this spot. And we have 1,689 tickets in. So very small sample size. 52% of the tickets, 52% of the cash on the Rangers. 44% of the tickets, 82% of the cash on the under. Market moving towards the under. All right, we keep rolling. No move for Pistol Pete or myself. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds, 82-75, 38-38 on the road at Chicago White Sox. 89-68, 49-27 at home. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. And look at that, 50-50 from our low baggers in the chat. 68 votes, Phillies Braves, 50-50. There's Razor Sharp picks in the house. Razor Sharp picks hit a little $4,700 pick 5 over the weekend. Guy is a monster. And a cheap one. Didn't cost him much. Picks up just a cool 4,700 American. My guy. A Razor.
Right.
Say what? What's that, Pete?
I said, all right.
I love it.
You see? Let's make a movie, Jimmy the Bag. I'll use that as one of my lines. All right.
Please do. Riley O'Brien on the hill against Ronaldo Lopez, guaranteed rate field, 67 Fahrenheit clear, 7 miles per hour sideways in. Riley O'Brien, 8th round pick out of the 2017 draft. He was in AAA Louisville this year. 7-7, 4.55 ERA, 1.31 whip, 112 innings, 121 Ks, 55 walks, 16 home runs. Going up against Ronaldo Lopez. 3-3, 3.16 ERA, 0.95 whip, 51 Ks and 51 in the third, 12 walks, 8 home runs. In his last start, 3 in a third. That's all he went. 3 in a third, 4 hits, 2 in runs, solo shots, no walks, 4 Ks and a 7-2 win at the Indians in a 7-inning doubleheader. Reds are still hitting righties hard, 266, 791 OPS. White Sox seem to be mailing it in offensively, at least.
Yeah.
White Sox just hitting 256, 732 OPS versus righties. But their bullpen's been very good, and so is the Reds, surprisingly, over the last 30 days. Both bullpens have been quite strong. Reds, White Sox, This is not an easy spot, Pete. This total opens up at 9.5, goes down to 9. The White Sox open up minus 163. They're now minus 177, a 14-cent move towards them. Take it away.
Yeah, I wait for the lineups, especially at the end of the season. And if I knew for a fact that the White Sox would be fielding their full lineup and giving it 100%, I'd be all over the first 5 over, the White Sox -1, and probably the White Sox team total over. This looks like an ominous situation for that guy O'Brien. He's got some potential, as all steady AAA starters do. But this is not a good spot to bring him up against for his major league debut. And Lopez, probably this is going to be another vulnerable spot for him too. So I'm leaning, and I might give it officially, even not knowing what the lineups are. I would be leaning first 5 over, and that's about it. As far as the side is concerned, can't give an opinion on that. But first 5 over is definitely a strong lean.
And we have spreadsheet plays of the day in from our Ron Crawford. Boston Red Sox -1.5.
Wow. Okay.
And Colorado -140. So we have spreadsheet plays of the day in from our Ron Crawford. That is the Red Sox -1.5, as well as Colorado at -140. We also have Gambler's First Glance, in that being Tampa Bay on the money line at +119. Tampa Bay on the money line is your Gambler's First Glance. Copy and paste that as well. Tampa on the money line. I can't wait to talk about that game. I find that game extremely interesting. With Waka on the mound. Let me just move over and make sure that I've got that set up here so I can bring that up when we talk about that game. Okay, so that's Reds, White Sox.
Well, I'll make it official, Jimmy the Bag. First 5 over 5 -102. I'm a little bit concerned that it is where it is. I would have expected a little bit more of a lean market-wide towards the first 5 over, but I'll take it. White Sox first 5 over 5 -102.
Done and done. Let me copy and paste all of these looks. As anyone new to the show sees, we all work together to defeat the juice. And early NCAA football looks here from Matty Ice is BYU full game under 6.5 and UL Monroe at +35. Let me make sure that's here. Paste. Okay, let's roll on. Pete has made that first 5 over 5 at -102 in official look. We move on to Cleveland Indians at Kansas City Royals. Indians 77-79, 37-38 on the road. At the Royals 71-85, 36-39 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. 82 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour, sideways, slightly out. Aaron Savali on the hill against Brady Singer. Savali coming off that start where he got violated. 1 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 7-2 loss at home versus the White Sox in a 7-inning doubleheader. He's had a great year, though. 11-5, 3.90 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 92 Ks to 29 walks. Has allowed 21 home runs, added 4 last out. At home, he has struggled a bit. 5-4, 4.82 ERA, 2.59 points batting average. It's on the road where he's Sean, 6-1, 3 ERA, 2.23 opponent's batting average. And he's back on the road for a possible bounce-back spot, going up against Brady Singer, 5-10, 4.72 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, 131 Ks, and 127 2/3, 52 walks, 14 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1 walk, 7 Ks, in a 7-2 win at Cleveland in a 7-inning doubleheader. Indians aren't hitting righties. Either are the Royals. Indians 238, 690 OPS over the last 30 days, while the Royals 253, 701 OPS over the last 30 days. And both bullpens have been good. Indians bullpens turned it around, 3.46 ERA over the last 30. Royals bullpen 3.84 ERA over the last 30. Table setting time for Pistol Pete Loshak. This total opened up at 9.
Yeah.
The under was -114. That's where it is right now. And the Indians open up as lukewarm favorites. And now the Royals are at -116, have become legitimate favorites. Pistol Pete, take it away. Royal Indians.
My number is small lean to the under, small lean to KC, although I'm not sure if it still likes it at KC at the current line. Singer, I feel like he obviously has real potential, but I feel like I have, not quite as bad as that fuckface Coar, but, is in a similar way. I feel like I've bet on him based on his potential and gotten burned by it quite a few times this year. His last start was good, and Cleveland is a lineup that I am happy to bet against in general. They got a couple of quality bats and then not much else. Seeing him for the second time, that does matter. I don't think I can give it officially, but lean to the under, lean to KC, and Savali's last start is, I throw that out. That was a terrible spot for him, and this should be a lot easier. I'm expecting good start from him as well. So lean first 5 under, lean full game under, and lean KC, but if Singer comes in and gives up 6 runs in 3 innings, that wouldn't be a shock in the slightest.
Singer's got good numbers against these Cleveland bats. They're hitting just 212 with a 511 OPS against them. Against Savali, 324 with a 983 OPS. So they get to Savali, but I see that you have hopes for a nice start out of Savali. Let's see. So this total has gone from what? This total's hasn't moved, sitting under 9. Both bullpens are pitching well. The weather, 7 miles per hour sideways, just slightly out. And then let's see what the cash flow is here in this spot in the Royals game. Where is it? There it is right there. Just 1,185 tickets in, so we're still figuring everything out. 56% of the tickets, 83% of cash on the Royals. 70% of tickets on the under, and just not enough to calculate the cash flow at this point. I think you're right about this. Crystal Warren says Royals bats are dead. I think the under goes. Savali usually has a great game after a shit game. There's Bled's W.
In that game against the White Sox, I'm not even necessarily sure I would categorize it as shit. That was a terrible spot for him for lots of different ways, and I was all over the White Sox team total over in that one. So that's a huge asterisk on that one for him.
I think you guys are right. I think this is an under spot. I think it's a bounce back spot for Savali, and I've always been high on Brady Singer, and it hasn't been very good for me this year, but I still believe in him as a young pitcher. So I think this under 9 makes a ton of sense with the way the bullpens are throwing right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to giving it officially right now. And Crystal Warren approves of that as well. So she said likes the under, or approves of it at least.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. Why not? Okay. I don't know, though. Singer, God, these KC starting pitchers with potential. I've gotten so burned by them. And Singer is just so inconsistent.
Well, I am going to move on it. Under 9 here. I think it's a nice spot. There's DJ Big Boss in the house.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to move on this under 9. I think this makes sense to me. So I'm
going to hold off for now. I haven't bet it yet, so I'm going to hold off for now.
Bleds, I have 0 futures in MLB, quite possibly for the first time ever in my life at this point in the year. None. And I guess that COVID was playing a part in it earlier in the year, but I'm sitting here with nothing. It's wild. I can't explain it. Okay, let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays at Houston Astros, and that brings us to Razor Sharp Picks, Gambler's First Glance here. Gambler's First Glance, Razor Sharp Picks is on the Tampa Bay Rays money line at plus 119. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. I was wondering, this is the type of summer nights where you would think that the fans would want the roof open, but that hasn't been the case. I have this blog site that usually tells me, and I'm just going to pop it in right now and see if it is September 28th, closed, roof closed. Okay, so that's official, roof closed. Michael Waka going up against Jose Urquidy. Waka 3-5, 5.49 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 114 2/3, 113 Ks, 28 walks, and 23 home runs. Last start, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks to 4-2 loss at home versus the Jays. He struggled on the road this year. He's been pretty good at home, but struggled on the road. On the road, just 1-4, 6.56 ERA, 309 opponents batting average. Urquidy coming off a struggle at the Angels, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks. He's come back off the IL, not looked very strong. Still's had a great year, 8-3, 3.56 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. Rays are hitting righties hard, 237, 749 OPS. Not as hard as the Astros hitting righties, 271, 780 OPS. The Rays bullpen has not been as good as we remember over the last 3 days, but still okay, 4.09 ERA, much better than the Astros bullpen. Over the last 30 days, interesting spot, Tampa, Houston. Houston opening up at minus 142, a 13-cent move away from them. Now minus 129. This total opened up at over 9, minus 116. Now over 9, minus 117. 1 cent move to the over. Interesting spot here. Gamblers' first glance on the Rays at the plus line. What do you think about this spot? Pistol Pete.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like the Rays here, and I kind of like them a little bit. Well, my numbers kind of like them a little bit more. First 5 as well. Waka has been vulnerable, but his last appearance was promising, and also Tampa Bay gets, any pitcher for Tampa Bay gets a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, unless it's a game that they're just, forfeiting from the start, which is not the case here for Tampa Bay. So if they're throwing Waka out here, I think they've fixed his issues. They're not going to run him deep, and he should be okay, I think. Again, for a couple innings, for a few innings, and Urquidy, the last start did not look good from him, and my numbers indicate that he should struggle again. So I do like Tampa Bay, like him first 5 as well, and I may make one of those official.
I think this makes a ton of sense. Getting a plus line on Tampa Bay, 28% of the money line tickets on Tampa Bay, but 50% of the cash. Then you have 56% of tickets, 71% of cash on the under. It's not easy to trust Waka, but I liked what he did against the Jays, and that's not easy. And I think that the Rays are just a better ball club than the Astros, and Urquidy does not look good. So right. I don't see why I wouldn't move on a plus line here.
It's definitely not not comforting, I should say, that the market seems to like the Astros' first 5 more than full game. You see that a lot with like NBA totals, and those kinds of leans and indications tend to be right more often than not. But my numbers like Tampa Bay first half, and believe it or not, my numbers tend to be very slightly right more often than not. So I'll make that official. I'm seeing plus 127 at Pinnacle, even though the market is saying that's a questionable thing to do. I'll make it official. Tampa Bay plus 127, first 5 innings money line.
And why do you like the first 5 better than full game?
Because my numbers don't like Urquidy here, and they don't necessarily love Waka. But again, I give a sports odds betting is as much of a science as it is a art, or as much of an artisan as a science. And part of the artistry that I use when I'm handicapping baseball is I give Tampa Bay the benefit of the doubt in most situations, and especially when they're an underdog.
Is it the price, though? Because, right now, at my book, Rays are plus 110 full game, but plus 125 first 5. Is it that 15 cents of value pushes it over the top, making the first 5 more valuable to you than the full game?
Yeah. It's also something that, as you said, the market is saying something. What exactly it's saying and why is a little bit opaque, but yeah, it makes me concerned that the market is boosting Houston first 5 here over the full game, but I'm going to take it. Tampa Bay plus 127 money line. First 5.
127 first 5. Razors on the Tampa Bay money line plus 119. I want in. I need to think if that 15 cents of if that makes that a better spot than the full game, because we like the Rays bullpen better than the. Is there any fear that the Rays don't have a lot to play for? Is there any what's the biggest fear in your bet?
My biggest fear in this bet is that Waka is ass. He was very vulnerable most of the year, and I was betting against him. I had him firmly in the ass pitcher category, and was successful. Did well with that, fading him in general, and. So the last appearance is promising, but and obviously Houston has a legit fearsome lineup. Even if I have them even if they tend to be a little bit overrated, they're still awesome. So that's a tough matchup. But again, if you push the line high enough, I'm going to pull the trigger. And then also, my numbers indicate this is not a great spot for Urquidy either.
Wow, TJ's got the opposite. He's got plus 116 on full game. and plus 113 first five. I got plus 110 on full game, plus 125 first five. Look at this. We have Birdie's Bird Nest Builder. NHL parlay of the day. Sabres money line, Rangers money line under 5.5, Tampa Bay Carolina. Sabres money line, Rangers money line, and the under 5.5, and Tampa Bay Carolina plus 581. Birdie's Bird Nest. I'm liking this. I think you may be onto something. You may be on. So there's Noli Nose in the house. Great to see you, Noli, my man. Okay, so let's keep rolling here. I've got more. I need to sit and think about this spot, but I'm very interested in the Rays here at a plus price against Urquidy, who just doesn't look right. We move on to 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals at Colorado Rockies. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Nationals 65-92, 30-49 on the road. Rockies 71-85, 46-33 at home. Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour to right. Patrick Corbin, who's coming off a really good start at the Reds. He's had a terrible season. The last time he had a really good start, he followed it up with a terrible start, when I expected him maybe to turn it around, and he cost me money. But I don't want to go against him here. And it's funny I say that. I bring up his splits. There's not a huge difference. At home, he's been so bad. 5-8, 6.27 ERA, 3.12 opponents batting average. He's been a little better on the road. 4-7, 5.56 ERA, 2.57 opponents batting average. Going up against Freeland, who has opposite splits as compared to the rest of the rotation, the young guns who've been pitching better at home and a little bit worse on the road. He's been bad at home. 3-3, 5.26 ERA, 3.04 opponents batting average. On the road, 3-5, 3.84 ERA, 2.68 opponents batting average. His last start was at home versus the Dodgers, and he pitched well. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The Nats are hitting lefties hard, as they have all year, 275, 774 OPS. Rockies versus lefties, 259, 754 OPS. The big difference of these two teams is the Rockies. Well, I guess the big difference would be the Rockies at home. They're 46-33, and Nats on the road, 30-49. But the other big difference is the bullpen. Rockies bullpen last 30 days, 4.25 ERA, compared to the Nats bullpen, 6.30 ERA. Billy Pilgrim with a great stat. Freeland 8-1 versus losing teams. Stan Lynch, Washington 18-31 versus left-handed starters. Colorado 26-18 versus left-handed starters. Lean Rockies. Interesting. This is a fascinating game. The Rockies opened up minus 144. They're now minus 128. A 16-cent move to the Nats. Danger. This total opened up at 11.5. It's still there. Sports Interaction and UWager have moved it to 12, but heavily juiced to the under at 12. Interesting spot here, Pete. Take it away, Nats Rockies.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I actually had Washington yesterday. I also had the first 5 over, which was a loser, but I also had the Washington team total over, which was a winner on the first 5, and I also had them on the full game, which was a loser. This one, I will admit that I did pull the trigger on the under at 12 when it came out. Freeland, I think, will be okay. Washington is an interesting lineup. Soto is just an absolute friggin' beast of a hitter, but there's not a whole lot around him. Washington in general, it's like when Trout used to be on the Angels, and he was just a superhero of a hitter and surrounded by not much. Very similar situation with Washington here. And my numbers, like Colorado, a little bit as well, although I've been very down on Colorado. I have their lineup rated very low here. And Corbin is the big wild card. My numbers indicate that it's not a good spot for him. Well, I have some numbers that indicate it's not, some numbers that indicate it is, and the research I've done is kind of, non-quantifiable research I've done is kind of in the middle. So, I'm hoping that if he comes in and, goes 5 innings and gives up 6 runs, maybe Freeland has a strong 7-inning start and the game still sneaks under or goes under comfortably. So I did bet the under at 12, and I would give that as an official play here, even though you're, relying on Corbin not to get completely shelled here. And also a lean to Colorado, first 5 innings and full game, a little bit stronger first 5.
And the spreadsheet play of the day number 2 is these Colorado Rockies. Lit Picks has taken the Rockies for his first 5 run line. These two teams faced each other 10 days ago, and Corbin gave up 6 earned runs in the first 5. And then Trusty says, I like the over. I would rather take the Rockies minus 1.5 because there's a team going to do damage here. It's the Rockies, not the Nats.
It's possible. I'm just my numbers hate the Rocky, probably a little bit incorrectly or irrationally, but my numbers don't like the Rockies lineup. Even though, any lineup can put up a 10 spot in any given day at Coors for sure.
And when we go to, let's go to baseball data first. First baseball data in this spot. By the way, Urquidy with really nice numbers against the Astros. We never talked about that 190, 594 OPS, and these Astros have got to Waka, 10 for 23. Here against Corbin, the Rockies are hitting 345 with a 1.032 OPS. Against Freeland, 292 with a 708 OPS. Everything about this spot is starting to make me uncomfortable. There's Mr. Ghost here in the house. Let's just go to the cash flow, but I don't think I move on. 2,067 tickets. 28% of the tickets, 15% of the cash on the Washington. 15% of the cash on the Nats. And yet we've seen, a 14-cent market move towards them? Fishy. Then we have 36% of tickets on the over, 53% of cash on the over. I don't know what's going to happen here, and I'm not going to move on a angle and put money on it. So I'm passing on Nats, Rockies. And I don't have a lot of looks on this card, which is fine. I don't need to. There's football and so much work to do for the rest of the week, so don't need to force it. We move on to Diamondbacks, San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. I do hope that Nutflush Allen is still in the chat, as he's been coming into the chat throughout the show. I hope he's watching right now. 61 Fahrenheit clear, 14 miles per hour to right center. And again, the wind swirls there at Oracle, so we don't need to take too much into that. Luke Weaver going up against Logan Webb. Weaver has had wild splits this year. At home, 3-2, 2.31 ERA, 188 opponent's batting average. On the road, 0-4, 7.94 ERA, 2.99 opponent's batting average. His last start was at home versus the Braves, and he didn't look very good. 6 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which were earned, 3 home runs, 0 walks, 7 Ks. Going up against Logan Webb, he scared me in his last start. And, a lot of my friends and people I care about were on the Giants, and I couldn't do it. And it was against Darvish, and the Giants had a big comeback late and ended up losing it in extras. But Webb did not look very good. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. But he's been so good at home. On the road, 5-3, 4.08 ERA, 2.53 opponent's batting average. At home, 5-0. 1.76 ERA, 2.08 opponent's batting average. So good. Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties at all. 210, 621 OPS. We got my man G. Martinez saying Belt has a broken thumb.
Yeah.
Giants versus righties, 275, 850 OPS. They're smashing righties. And the bullpen, just a huge difference here for the Giants. Giants bullpen, 2.65 ERA over the last 30 days, while the Diamondbacks, 4.25. Let's set this table for Pistol Pete Loshak. The Giants open up minus 260. They're now minus 247, a 13-cent move over to Arizona. And this total's gone from 7.5 to 8. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a big Webb. Also, I'm going to look into him a little bit further to see if I can find anything, similar to Wainwright. As of right now, I'm assuming those are just some speed bumps. Although, kind of the entire month of September has been a little bit of a speed bump. I suspect that they will, not have him go too deep here. And my numbers do like Arizona first 5 team total under at 1.5 minus 140, despite the fact that that Webb got hit in his last start. My numbers are very down on the Arizona lineup in this park. And no Brandon Belt for San Francisco is a significant loss. Weaver is, not great, but he did get 7 strikeouts in his last start, no walks. Probably will give up something here, but unfortunately, I can't endorse a play on San Francisco at this line in the minus 250s. So I would be leaning, leaning Arizona first 5 team total under most strongly, and then maybe a small shot with the full game under as well at 8.
Richard Meyer says blowout. Crystal Warren says I like the Giants run line concede going 5-2. Webb's numbers at home are good. Nutflush on says Wade will play first. Noli Knows is on the under 8. Billy Pilgrim says Giants and Webb are 10-0 in home games.
Yeah, I mean, when I ran the numbers, it just doesn't indicate any value at the current line. But first of all, my numbers are far from perfect, and there might be some other factors at play that are not factored into those lines. Non-quantifiable factors. The big question mark here is what's up with Webb? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I imagine that he's going to come home and pitch very well, but at this price and with the slight market move moving towards the Diamondbacks, I'm going to sit back and Noli on the under, and thankfully we all work together. So I'll be interested to hear what Nutflush does, trigger pulling time. Move he makes.
I haven't bet it yet, but I'm almost certainly going to have a small bet on the Arizona first 5 team total under.
So you're expecting a nice start from Webb, which I get. And look at the way the Diamondbacks are getting ready. 210, 621 OPS.
I mean, they just don't have much in there,
Yeah. Yeah, and then so the question is, can Luke Weaver get enough outs?
Yeah, I want to do a little more research into him as well. Again, this is like my numbers indicate that it's a better spot for him here than his last spot, but a terrible, even without Belt, the Giants have a fearsome lineup. So I wouldn't necessarily want. My gut says probably San Francisco minus whatever would have some value, but I don't know if I can bet that because my numbers say pass on that.
And just would like to see what it would cost to take the Giants on the run line if I so desired. At minus 130, it's not cheap. Puzzler says Weaver's given up more and more runs each start in September. 1, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but there's other reasons to like him. I mean, to expect him to not continue to be terrible.
I agree. All right, no move for me yet, but do have interest in the Giants somehow. And that first 5-team total under might be the way to do it. We have 2 games left before we jump into college football and then CFL. Padres at LA Dodgers. Padres 78, 33, and 42 on the road. Dodgers 156, 52, and 23 at home. We're at Chavez Ravine. Sean Thompson saying this is a smash spot for those Giants, by the way. And, Sean Thompson's great capper.
I mean, I definitely feel like I have left quite a bit of money on the table not betting Giants, at big favorite lines. And in retrospect, realizing that my numbers were pushing me off spots that I should have been on.
Yeah, I hear that. I've not made enough money off the Giants this year when I should have. Dodger Stadium, LA, 68 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour to left center. We have Darvish going up against Walker Buehler. Darvish 8-10, 4.21 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. His last start went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 7 Ks, 7.6 extra inning win at home versus the Giants. At home, he's been pretty good, 6-4, 3.38 ERA, opponents hitting 206 against him. On the road, he's been bad, 2-6, 5.61 ERA, 241 opponents batting average against them. TJ says Padres first 5 plus a half at plus 110 is on his card. Going up against Walker Buehler, who's not looked very good of late. Very interesting to see Walker Buehler kind of struggling here down the stretch after 195 2/3. Still a great season, 14-4, 2.58 ERA, 0.98 WHIP. But last start was another example, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 0 walks, just 2 Ks, and a 10-5 loss at the Rockies. At home, he's been better than he's been on the road. I wasn't putting his splits up most of the year because they were very similar, but now there's been a bit of a difference. On the road, 5-2, 3.08 ERA, 210 opponents batting average. At home, 9-2. 2.19 ERA, 196 opponents batting average. The Padres are hitting righties, but with no power. 248, but with a 722 OPS. The Dodgers do nothing against righties these days. 222 with a 678 opponents batting average. Padres bullpen 5.37 ERA over the last 30 days, just falling apart. Dodgers bullpen really coming together, 2.30 ERA after the last 30 days. Trey Hicks says Darvish being the most overrated pitcher in baseball since he started his career. Nutflush Allen, this is about that Giant spot, says this could be a gift from the Diamondbacks to the Giants. Too much info to put in the chat, but this is a smash spot. Look at what
K-Prop. He loves the Giants then.
Oh, yeah, he's all over him. Says,
I might tell that. I think I will, but at the end of the show, when we do the recaps, I will throw on a tail, maybe even 2. That weighs extremely heavily with me.
Look at Webb's K-Prop, and they will play this game pumped behind belt. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Okay, back to this Padres-Dodgers spot. Let's set the table here for Pistol. We have the Dodgers opening up at minus 180, then at minus 177, a 3-cent move towards the Padres, and this total's gone from 8 to 7.5. Anything for you here?
No, unfortunately, I analyze these things with the edge and the confidence. The confidence numbers on this game is super low. My numbers are spitting back at me that they have no clue what to expect from Darvish or Buehler here. So it's going to be a pass-through. My numbers have also overvalued San Diego, not Darvish specifically, but overvalued San Diego for the past bunch of months. So I sort of started to shy away from their games in general a few weeks ago, and probably been a good idea. Very low confidence numbers according to the way I analyze things, and so it's going to be a pass for me. The person who likes San Diego on the first 5 run line, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, My numbers indicate that it's probably going to be a better start from Darvish than overall, a better than average start for him. Again, my numbers have been very bad with San Diego in general, but I guess I could endorse a play on San Diego on a better than average start from Darvish here.
When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we have 4,854 tickets in. 87% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Dodgers. 3-cent move to the Padres. Fishy. Then 49% of the tickets on the over. 97% of cash on the over, and yet it's dropped from 8 to 7.5. Noli Note says Dodgers sweep these Padres again. When we go over to the baseball data here against Darvish, these Dodgers are hitting just 169 with a 596 OPS. Against Buehler, 209 with a 630 OPS. Our Oberus says, what is the K prop here? Oh, I guess you're talking about Logan Webb, right? Because I imagine you're talking about Logan Webb. I'm going to give you the Logan Webb answer. Let me know if this is wrong. But I believe you're asking about Logan Webb's K prop. And here at Bet365, it's at 5.5, and it's minus 140 to the over. Just heavily to the over. All right. And we have Zadarath in the house, says my guy, Loshak. All right, we move on to the final game, baseball game on the card before we move into a couple spots in college football. Oakland Athletics at Seattle Mariners. 85-72 are the A's, 42-34. Mariners, 87-70. Who would have thought they'd be 17 games under or over 500 at this point in the year? 43-33 at home. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. The roof is going to be closed, I expect. It's starting to get cooler in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest. Bassett going up against Kikuchi. I had Bassett first 5 last game after we discussed him coming back after taking the ball to the face. And he only lasted 3
Jim, I don't mean to cut you off, but no Kikuchi. No Kikuchi. It's Anderson in the bullpen game.
Ooh, thank you. That's very, very, very important. Wow, that's wild. Just see if I've got all this set up here at least. Wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that with me. So we have Bassett going up against Tyler Anderson in the bullpen game. So they're not going to let Anderson go 5 even?
I read it was a bullpen game.
Okay. No, that's very important. Okay. Bassett went 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 Ks. I was completely right. But what I was wrong about was that he only went 3 innings, and I was lucky to get out of they were up 4-3 after 5. But as soon as Bassett is not on the bump, this A's bullpen is a 5.88 ERA over the last 30 days. Bassett's been better at home than he's been on the road statistically, but he is 8-1 on the road. These guys love him, and they play for him. Yeah. Going up against Tyler Anderson, and the A's are hitting 233, 723 OPS versus lefties. The Mariners bullpen's been much better than the A's bullpen. Interesting. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper for stats on Tyler Anderson. I think it was the Kuchster. What, if any, is your thought process here? Let me just set you a table quickly, Pete. Minus 120, the A's open up at. Now, that was maybe thinking Kikuchi was on the mound. It's now minus 109. And this total that was just to the over 8, it's not just to the under 8. Take it away.
Yeah, well, I was all over. I played Bassett's first start back perfectly. I was all over the first 5, which is closer than I was hoping for and expecting. Did not touch the full game. And I kind of like the same here, although I don't really love betting against Anderson. So I'm also maybe thinking about the first 5 under, although I haven't bet that one yet. But I definitely took the Oakland first 5 money line for sure. I got it actually while Jose was talking. I was acting like I was listening to him, being like, and actually betting the first 5 money line. I got it at minus 120 because I also, as we know, the reason you want to jump on lines early is not necessarily how much you like them, but how much you think they're going to move. And I thought that one was going to move, so I jumped on it I got 120. I gave Jose a little bit of respect. I didn't line shop while he was talking, but I did make the bet. I did bet and handicap while he was talking, completely disregarding everything he was saying. I'd have to take it here as well, even though I don't like it as much as the last start from Bassett. But I like it, and I'll give it as an official play. Let's see what I can get now. But Bassett, I think, is the real deal. Probably will have another strong start, even though it's on the road. And Anderson is not bad, but I'll take it at this low line.
Anderson has good numbers against these A's too. I wonder if that first 5 under is the right look. Anderson 226, 639 against them. Against Bassett, the Mariners hitting 250, 725 OPS. What did you get line shopping?
I didn't line shop. I extended that modicum of respect to Jose, and I did not line shop around. I got 120. Minus 120, yeah.
Okay, first 5 on the A's at minus 120. I would just like to jump into the stats for Tyler Anderson here quickly. Just the last few games, I would like to know what he has done. Here we go. Tyler Anderson. Let's go to game log. Okay, here we go. So last out, he got destroyed, of course. That 14-1 loss. 9 earned runs in 2 innings. And that's why he's coming back 3 days later as a bullpen game. Now it all makes sense.
I feel I don't like this nearly as much as the last start from Bassett. I don't really want to bet against Anderson here. Slightly into the Seattle first 5 team total under as well, but I'll make that official. And I am seeing some 120s, unless this line service I'm looking at right now is off. But I'm seeing a bunch of 120s, so I'll take that. Oakland first half money line minus 120 official.
Wow. And Deegan says pitchers are giving up 10 home runs against today's lineup. Shamar Moore said, can I roll over on the Marlins? Is that on our plays? We stayed off that first game. Shamar, unfortunately, I can't really help. But so I mean, Tyler Anderson can't go more than 2 innings, right? If he just pitched 3 days ago with an expectation to start. How many pitches did he throw? Let me just see how many pitches did he throw. He threw 54 pitches. And then we go into this Mariners bullpen that hasn't been as good as they were. They've been excellent, but the last 3 days they haven't been that good. Sean Thompson says Bassett gets hit.
Really? Okay. A lot of times when I give a play and then someone in the comment section just comes out and says he's going to get abused, he gets abused. We'll see. I mean, Bassett is like, even before the injury, he was, a guy I was looking to bet on and bet team total unders for opposing teams anyway. So, and it looks like he's completely back. Of course, second start off of a, extended layoff, and the first appearance was excellent. Sure, anything can happen.
Pete on the A's first 5. I'm not sure what to do there. And Mr. Ghoster laughing, saying, "Old Kowar." Okay, so there is our MLB. Let's review MLB before we talk NCAA football.
Mr. Ghoster, I bet on Kowar pretty much every start that he's had in the majors so far. I think his record right now in the majors is 0-5 with an 8.34 ERA or something like that. Unfriggin' believable. Shout out to Mr. Ghoster for somehow knowing that Kowar is not ready for prime time.
And TJ is also with you on Bassett first 5. He's backing you. That's good company. TJ is a great capper. He's also with you on Bassett first 5. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more time on that spot. Let's review action. Both Pete and I have stayed off of the double dip in Miami, New York, but he's interested in the under in game 2. We'll see what happens in game 1, and we'll look at lineups. The first taint play of the day is Chicago, Pittsburgh, first 5 over 4.5 at minus 115. Then Pete's first action of the day is the under 9.5 at minus 118 in Boston, Baltimore. The Jose Seje play of the day is Sale over 6.5 Ks at plus 100. And the first 3 plus a half at minus 115 is my look that I bet before the game, minus 115. I looked very closely at a couple other spots, and I said that if I get a 5 in that game, first 5, I will take the under. It was 4.5 at plus money, which it still is, 4.5 at plus money. So I will see. Okay, next up we have the Pimp Slap play of the day is on the Yankees, first 5 plus a half. I'm on the first 5 over 5 at minus 115. The taint play of the day is Guerrero over 1.5, bases at plus 110. And Pete came very close to making the Jays an official play, but at minus 129, he decided that wasn't right because he got in much earlier, minus 117. And that's 12 cents, and it changes quite a bit. Next up, we have Philly, Atlanta, full game under 7.5 at minus 105. I believe that's taint play of the day number 2. Sorry, that's taint play of the day number 2. I didn't write that there. Nothing for Pete and I there. I'm interested in this full game under in Tigers Twins. We were waiting to see who was pitching for the Twins. We still don't know, and I don't think it's going to be Charlie Barnes. Next up, Pete is on the Cards at plus 106, and I have decided I am moving on the Brewers first 5. Moving on the Brewers first 5, so that would be my one addition. I have a very small card today. Angels, Rangers. I wanted to talk myself into AJ Alexi and the Rangers. I could not do it. Then we have the first 5 over 5 minus 102 in Reds, White Sox. That might be a really nice spot, Pete. What was your hesitation? It was because you thought that there'd be more juice involved in that?
Yeah. The line makes me a little bit nervous, and also, as you said, the White Sox are obviously looking forward to the postseason. Maybe a little bit lethargic right now, and that definitely happens in baseball. In fact, you usually see it happen with an elite team every year. It tends to happen like right before the All-Star break, a few weeks before the All-Star break. We saw it happen with Toronto for a bunch of weeks, and I talked about it at the time. Remember that, Jimmy the Bag? And I was like, they'll bounce back. I didn't expect them to bounce back with 22-run games back to back, but that's what the White Sox are looking like right now. It's just that on paper, this is such a bad matchup for the Cincinnati starter that I have to pull the trigger on it. But I don't love it. I mean, also, the Cincinnati has some bats in that lineup. They can rake a little bit. And Lopez, I am not expecting this to be a lights out start from him either. So
there's been a pretty substantial move towards the under.
I know.
From the over, and
I don't like it.
But the cash is on the full game over, not the under. Ticket-wise, pretty even, but most of the cash is on the over. If there wasn't that move, I would be right with you. But I think from a statistical analysis, I like your over 5. It's just the market that is going to not have me ride with you in that spot, but I will cheer you on. Then the under 9 in Indians Royals. You got nervous and didn't make it official when I wanted to make it an official.
There's too much shit that can happen in this game. Plus, the friggin' bullpens. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be a pass for me.
I'm going to move on it, and it is the bullpens that I trust the most.
Right. Okay, good. Great. I hope you cash it. Yes.
I hope I cash as well. Rays first 5 at plus 127 is a move that you are on that I find so interesting. I love that plus line beside them. I want to study it more. I like it a lot. I'm going heads up against Noli. He's on the Yankee Jays first 5 under 5, which makes me nervous. Gamblers first line is the Rays money line at plus 119. I want in. I want in. I want to be on the corner of Lodels and Razor Sharp Picks Boulevard. Next up, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, Nationals Rockies. We are off. 9:45 Diamondbacks Giants. Question is, do we add the Giants on the run line now after the breakdown from Nutflush?
Definitely. Let me see. And this is not just out of respect. This is out of I just think the guy's right, and I just trust him until further notice. It's a big line. Giants -1. We'll make it that. But I will take that as an God. It is such a massive line, though. It really is.
I'd have to take the 1.5 or even the 2. I've made 2 -2 bets this year and lost them both horribly in embarrassing fashion. Okay, well, we got to talk a little college football. We can close up the show with that. I think the run line is I'm comfortable with.
I'll take it. I'll take San Francisco -1, -2. I'll just use the Pinnacle lines: 247 and 125.
That's 247 -125. Okay, and I will be on the Giants -1.5 and -130 if it stays at that number. And then Padres Dodgers, we are both off. Pete has moved on the first 5 -120 with the A's. And I'm a little hesitant, but I still like it. But I don't think I don't know. I'm going to look into it a little more. Okay, there is MLB. Pete, so we have a great college football show here at Pub Sports Radio. It's every Monday. They break down a whole myriad of games. They do a great job doing it. And one thing I'm going to be doing now on our show is I will also pick some games to break down, and it will always be games that have not been broken down by Babano and CMAC, just to give you guys a little bit more college football for your buck. So I sent Pete a couple games, but I didn't send it to him till 9:30 at night. I was questioning between a couple games. I'm going to add games tomorrow night. Did you get a chance to look at either of them?
Oh, yeah, but when are we going to talk about CFL? I mean, Edmonton, that's either the biggest sucker play of the year or the biggest huge value bet of the year, right? Are we going to talk about that?
Yes, we're going to talk about CFL, definitely, but let's talk college football first because our low baggers care more about college football than CFL. So let's start with but maybe they don't care about Infocision Stadium in Akron, Ohio, because that's where we start. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Ohio Bobcats at Akron Zips. I find this so interesting. A couple of these games, Pete, we all wish we had you every day of the week, but let's take advantage of having you right now. So let's talk about this spot here. I'm going to move over, and thank you for taking a look at these games as well. So let's move over there right now. Ohio, Akron, moving over to spreads and totals. Come on, hurry up before I lose my shit. Okay, here we go. Come on, please, for the love of... All right, this is just taking a second. Very, very annoying.
Are you going to talk about this one?
While you're... No, I'm up. I got it up now. But yes, you know what? Take it away. I'd love to hear your initial breakdown of Ohio, Akron. I just wanted to set a table, and I can now. Okay, let me set this up for you right now. This game pops off at 3:30 on Saturday. A little action for you guys. 3:30, and here, Jesus, is it at 3? What the hell? No, it's at 3:30. Got Kent State here. Oh, here we go. So Ohio opening up as 9-point favorites. That's moved to 9.5. This total has gone from 54.5 to 55. There are so many elements of this game and so many moving pieces, and I can't wait to break it down. But you seem ready to rock. Take it away, my man.
Well, I'm going to hold off on this one. You know, college sports are interesting because there's a lot more volatility involved in college sports. Teams make wild. We all see. I'm talking. You guys know what I'm talking about. The teams make wild changes of form within seasons, way more than professionals do. And we talk about not overreacting to week one results. When you're at this point in the season, the thing you have to think about is, are these teams, both from the good and bad side, are these teams that have been only ass so far and lost every game ATS by double digits, legit ass, or are they going to make one of those turnarounds in the middle of the season or at the end of the season? And that is pretty much the key to college football, at least college sports, at least as far as sides are concerned. So this one is tough. My numbers say that, based on the numbers from this year, they say that Akron plus this many points would be the play. Based on another way of looking at things, which incorporates preseason rankings. I don't want to get too much into that, but if you really want to know about it, can I give a shout out to one of our old compatriots or one of our old friends, Ed Fang. Money well spent. I highly recommend. He's not paying me anything for this. He doesn't know I'm doing it, but I follow Ed Fang pretty closely when it comes to football, and especially college football. And he always talks about preseason rankings. And of course, Ohio was ranked very highly this year for good reason. They have a first-year coach, but he was the offensive coordinator for many years, and they had a fearsome offense, for so many times when he was the coordinator. And it's not really coming together this year. So based on current season stats, I would be liking Akron. Based on other ways of analyzing lines at this point in the season, I'd be liking Ohio. It's going to be a pass for me. I might be on it if I look into it a little bit more during the week. You basically just have to figure out what the hell is going on with Ohio, what the hell is going on with Akron. Is Ohio really this bad? They might actually be. If this is a situation where, if you have someone who goes to the school, preferably someone who's in the locker room, they can give you invaluable information with stuff like this. But as of right now, it's going to be a pass. And again, based on current season stats, I'd be on Akron. Based on other ways of looking at it, I'd be on Ohio. And at this point in the season, you want to have both of those things agreeing with each other in order to bet big and confidently. And when they're sort of opposed, that's when it's, you have to do either a little bit more research or stay off.
Ohio's got the season off to just a horrific start. 0-4 against the spread. 2 weeks ago, they lost 49-14 at Louisiana Raging Cajuns as 19-point dogs. Last week, they lost 35-6 at Northwestern as 13.5-point dogs. This is their third straight road game. Third straight road game for these college kids. That's not easy. Against Northwestern, they put up 348 yards of offense and didn't score until the last play of the game. Rourke, 20 of 29 for 166 yards with a fumble and a pick. 3 turnovers, all inside the 50. Tim Albin is losing his mind. 10 penalties, 3 turnovers, offensive line breakdowns throughout. They opened the game with a long drive in the Northwestern territory, then took a 32-yard field goal that went wide right. That's a lot of yards. I know that Northwestern's defense is nothing like it was last year. But if you dig deeper into the game, I don't know. I don't know what to do with those stats, but I do know that putting up 340 yards of offense at Northwestern is better than that score indicates. And the 3 turnovers inside the 50 are things that you can fix, I think.
Yeah, I mean, how about getting outgained by Duquesne though? How about that?
That was horrific. Okay.
How about that, Jimmy the Bag?
Next, we talk a little bit about Akron coming off that 59-7 loss at Ohio State's 49-point dogs. Look, I like DJ Irons. I've mentioned it, several times on the show, and he opens the game with a very nice drive at Ohio State. They get the touchdown, and then Ohio State scores 59 unanswered points. They got 17 first downs on Ohio State. I think that both of these offenses maybe are a little better than we haven't given them maybe against each other. They're able to put up points. What do you think of this total at 54.5 that's now juiced to the over? 55s are on the board at Heritage and U-Wager and Bodog.
Yeah, I mean, I did give the over 67.5 in the Ohio State game. And, as we always talk about sports betting, it's basically you're trying to identify weighted coin flips that are in your favor. And even though that bet wound up losing, partially because the fucking kicker missed a fucking field goal at the end, fucking cocksucker. When I look at how the game went overall, I conclude that I was on the right side of a weighted coin flip, and and the coin flipped against me. I agree with you. That's part of the reason why I would take Akron here at plus 9.5 based on current season stats, and I would probably weigh. I know that other people who do college football very well weigh other things more heavily than I do, but I would in this spot weigh the current season stats a little bit more heavily than they would, and I would take Akron plus 9.5 if you gave me a free pick on the game.
I'm not sure if I'm going to move on the side just yet in that spot, but I think the over is nice. By the way, Pete, I tailed your action, but I also was on the first half over.
Nice, good.
That gave me a 50-50. I just lost a little bit of vig. That is Ohio Bobcats at Akron Zips. I'm interested in the over. I think I'm going to move on it. And I don't know quite what to do yet on the side here. And if we've already seen it move to 9 to 9.5, could we see a 10 on the board? So I'm going to wait and see what happens there. The next spot on this game is another. And when I pick these games that haven't been capped by Babano and CMAC, I look at what do I find very interesting, and I really want to see what the Liberty Flames do here after a big loss. There's Colv Coleon in the house. He's on the Cards money line. Colv Coleon, Vegas Kings. Liberty comes in off their first loss in a long time, 24-21 setback at Syracuse. We cashed the under in that spot. Let's take a look at what the market has done in this Liberty spot. We have Liberty opening up as 1.5-point dogs. That's moved to 2. They're 2-point dogs now at Pinnacle and Bodog. This total opened up at 50.5. It's now at 49.5. I'd be very curious to see if we get a little bit of taste of this cash here. We don't. 353 tickets in, so just a very small amount of tickets. 57% of the tickets on the spread on Liberty and 85% of the cash. So Liberty comes off the 24-21 loss. This is a protective stadium in Birmingham, Alabama this week. They closed at 6.5-point favorites. The defense forced Malik Willis into his first fumble. The team's first turnover of the year with 4 minutes remaining. The read option offense, Willis is very adept with. He ran the ball 17 times for 81 yards. He went 14 and 19 for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns. They were down 21-7, third quarter deficit. They brought it back to 21 all. They would have been in the top 25 had they won. That's a big missed opportunity. They could have got a huge win over a Power 5 conference opponent. They have just one more game against the Power 5, and that's at Ole Miss on November 6th. They left a lot on the table. What is your expectation? Do they bounce back or not? UAB's followed their ugly 56-7 loss at Georgia with a 46 win at North Texas and then a 28-21 win at Tulane as 2.5-point favorites. Dylan Hopkins, just his 6th start of the year, 3 first-half touchdown passes, threw for 240 yards, 18 of 26. Pete, I find this fascinating. Does Liberty bounce back here?
Yeah, according to my numbers, yes. I'm willing to make Liberty an official play here, even though, according to my numbers, again, the edge is small, but the confidence is high. There's a lot of statistical reasons to like Liberty as a dog here, even though UAB has a lot to recommend them as well. I do like Liberty, and also, you should never really tease college football, but if you were going to tease college football, teasing Liberty would be one of the least stupid things you could do, I think, this week for sure. So just wanted to point that out. And, yeah, I like Liberty here. Small edge, but confident.
I think it makes sense. I really, really think that makes sense. Vap says this Liberty game looks like it could be an under the total play, in his opinion. So, Pete, moving on Liberty at +2. That makes sense to me. Dennis Trusty says, or would you move on them +2? Because he says, why not just Liberty money line?
Well, usually you will not get burned doing that. Once in a while you will, and that explains the difference between money line and +2. In general, if you want to take the more volatility you're expecting, the higher volatility you're expecting, the bigger dog lines you want to be taking. The lower volatility you're expecting, the bigger favorite lines you want to be taking. So in this case, I have no opinion on that. I do think it's going to be a close scoring game, so I would probably take the +2.
And our man Hugh Direction says Hugh Freeze as a road dog, pretty much an auto bet.
What do you say?
Hugh Freeze as a road dog is pretty much an auto bet.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I give this pick with a lot of confidence, although not with a big edge. With a lot of confidence. Long-term viewers of my videos know the confidence number is more important.
Very, very interesting.
I'll make it official. What are we seeing at Pinnacle right now? But +2 -115. I'll make that official.
+2 -115.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right. I am going to move on the over 55 in Ohio, Akron. And I'd like to move on. I'm going to move on the side in this game. I just want to keep studying it and talking about it. Sean Thompson says Liberty. Hugh Direction says Liberty. Pistol Pete Loshak says Liberty. And I wanted to fade them last week, but I couldn't because Birdie and Max were on them, and I just didn't feel like that's a positive ROI long-term, being on the other side of those two guys. But I did cash on the under. All right, we move into the Canadian Football League. The Canadian Football League.
Damn it. Tim, the line already moved to 7.5 and 8 now.
Beautiful. Yeah, I Bet365 opened it at 7, so I got 6.5 on the radio when I just gave it as the official pick on the radio this morning. But 7 is what I betted at -105. I also got first half -3.5 at -120. I knew that wasn't going to stick around for long.
Yes.
And I should be. I'm sitting 8-6 on the season. I don't know if Jose can pop my CFL record up. 8-6, 57.1% plus 1.15 units. ROI plus 8.21%. Average line -112. But how I lost that Lions-Riders game is just unbelievable. Just asinine that we had a chance to go for 2 to be up 7 points. We kicked it instead to be up 6. And then the Rough Riders get the touchdown with 2 seconds left. And I actually bet the Lions +1 because the money line was -105 and Lions +1 was -110. I was like, whatever, it's just -110. I'll take the +1. So I left. I was angry. They got the touchdown, 2 seconds left. I left, and I sent it in to my local as a push, and then I realized, oh shit, there was a scoop and score, and I lost that game. The Riders ended up winning by 7, and I'm still very, very angry. I should be 8-5 at worst, but really, okay, whatever. Let's move on to this game here, and this is another fascinating game that I love a little Tuesday night CFL football, but there's a lot of moving parts in this spot. Edmonton Elks -7 at -105 is what I'm on, and that was the first spot I could get it at. But this one has so many moving parts. Let's just see. Pete saying it's moved to 7.5 and 8. Let's pop this up on the screen and see what's going on here. Yes, 8 at Bet365, Intertop's Bet Online. Heritage has moved it to 8.5. Wow.
Yeah.
And then the total opened up at 43.5. It's up at 44 and now 44.5. I'm not going to mess. Oh, wow. And Matty Ice says Elk still at 6.5 at BetMGM. Wow. I would say bet it. We're at TD Place in Ottawa, Ontario. So Trevor Harris is going to miss Tuesday's game with an injury. And those of you Oklahoma State fans know a lot about Taylor Cornelius, the backup here for the Elks. He walks on to Oklahoma State in 2014. He gets the full scholarship in year 3. Is 5th-year senior. He gets the starting spot. Remember, he was playing behind Mason Rudolph. He gets to be the starter. Throws for 3,978 yards, 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and people like him. People like him wherever he goes. And I don't have any inside information on whether people like him in Edmonton, but I expect that they do. His career got off to a tough start. He had to play against the Bombers, who have the best defense in the league. He goes 19 for 33 for 243 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And what does he get? He gets a bye week. A bye week to go over everything that went wrong, what can be fixed. Not only that, but Trevor Harris is available for this game. They're giving Cornelius another start here, which is going to give him confidence, which is going to have him believing. Slatsy says Elks -6.5. A Redblacks starting third-string quarterback and first start. Glad we're on the same side. Yes, Slatsy and I had a wild back and forth with the Argos Alouettes game on Saturday. So this is starting with Taylor Cornelius and my belief in him. They get Kwaku Boateng back in the lineup as well. Defensive lineman David Beard, COVID protocols, is going to miss the game. So not only that, but Elizondo, the Elks coach, was the Redblacks offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach from 2016 to 2018, and the Redblacks already smacked the Elks in the mouth to start the season off. Everything is screaming here. Screaming. Elks. In Ottawa's Week 8 24-7 home loss to the Tiger Cats, Dominique Davis and Matt Nichols got hurt. So Caleb Evans is expected to be the starter, former Louisiana Monroe Warhawk, and he's a dual threat. But it's hard making your first start in the league. It's hard playing for a team that's lost every game since week 1. And the Elks have held opposing offenses to just 5 passing touchdowns this year and have given up just 6 plays of 30 yards or more. Smash spot right now. Pete, Elks, Redblacks, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I basically would echo everything you said, except I wouldn't say it quite as dramatically because I'm not a passionate Canadian CFL fan as you are. But yeah, I mean, it's basically you see this a lot in sports betting, right? You see where like there's 8 different signs all pointing in the right direction. Some complete ass auto fade pitcher going into Coors, and you're like, why would I not bet my house on the opposing team's team total over? And the answer is because anything can happen. And because even when you have a great bet, it's not 100% proposition, it's 62% proposition or whatever it is. So I'll put this officially on my record. I'm just going to make one play and make it on the first half. Edmonton first half -3.5, -110 because again they're coming in motivated and pissed off, and so I think it's more likely they'll come out and smash them in the mouth early than late. And then late, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the Edmonton quarterback is young as well. He's interception prone as well. I mean, again, I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. I'm just saying that I'm just going to make one play here, first half -3.5, -110. I'll put that on my official record. And I also want to double up on Liberty. I'm going to put them first half as well, plus a half. -113. So I want to double up on Liberty. I also like the first half a little bit more than the full game with Liberty. I forgot that when we were doing that analysis. So I like the first half more with Liberty, so I'm going to put that as an official play as well. Plus a half -113, and Edmonton first half -3.5, -110. And yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy the Bag. Every single sign in this game statistically and non-statistically points strongly towards Edmonton.
I love it. I love everything. And one last question on this. And by the way, that -3.5 and -110 at Pinnacle is a beautiful line. Bet Online's the only other book hanging at 3.5. That's a -120. Every other book's at 4. So
that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. But I'll take it. It's a bad sign when you're taking a Pinnacle line and every other book is is in the opposite direction. But that's okay.
You're right, because you know what, Pete? I just went on it. They were at 4.
Yeah.
They've come back to 3.5.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. You want to be betting other books when they have a much better line than what Pinnacle's offering.
No, you're right.
It's fine. I trust my handicapping enough to make this an official play.
Oh, you guys, Birdie just hit his – God, I wish I had more time. Birdie just hit that 8-1 that he gave out in horses earlier on in the show. I hope that you guys bet it. It was the here he said Wolverhampton race 2, the 7 gold medal 8-1. Pedigree is insane. William Buick seals the deal. First time starter as a 2-year-old. I'll just put it back in the chat. This is what I'm talking about with what we do here on the show. We work together to defeat the juice. I just put that's what he wrote earlier. I hope you guys ran with it. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Great job, Birdie. I'm so glad you cashed with it, Slatsy. I wish I was hoping that okay. Great job. Great job. Okay, so that is our show. Let's review everything one final time and also give a shout out to Skylar, 12th birthday. She's at Universal Studios right now. Here we go. The spreadsheet plays of the day: Boston Red Sox -1.5 in Colorado, money line at -140. We have not moved on either of the double headers. Miami, New York. We have the first taint play of the day on Cubs, Pittsburgh, first 5 over 4.5. We've all moved on the Red Sox Orioles game. So we have we have the spreadsheet play of the day. We have Pete on the under 9.5. We have Jose on Sale over 6.5 Ks, and I'm on the Orioles first 3 plus a half -115. I'm on the first 5 over 5 and -115 in Jay's Yankees. Mike M's pimp slap play of the day is Yankees first 5 plus a half, and taint number 2 is Guerrero Jr. over 1.5 bases at +110. Then the other taint spot is Phillies Atlanta full game under 7.5 -105. Pete and I are off of Phillies Braves. The full game under, I'm still waiting to see what it is for Tigers Twins, but I'm interested in it. So we shall see. Pete is on the St. Louis Cardinals +106. I'm adding Brewers first 5 to my card. Nothing for us in Angels Rangers. Pete's on the first 5 over 5 -102 in Reds White Sox. The under 9 in Indians Royals will be a bet that I will be making as soon as this show ends. Pete's on the Rays first 5 +127. Gambler's first glance is +119 on the Rays, and I'm interested in want in. I'm just not sure exactly how I'm going to pull it off. Nats, Rockies, we are off, and we both moved on to Giants after Nut Flush's breakdown. I'm on the -1.5, -130, but I have to add it, still bet it, still it's going to be an addition. And then Pete's on the Giants -1. That's a -247 and -125. Padres, Dodgers, we are off. Pete's on the A's first 5 -120 with Bassett, and I am interested in that spot. And I think that I will come along. I think I've thought about that enough. A's first 5. I'm going to come along. And then in college football, I'm moving on the over 55 in Ohio, Akron. Then Pete doubled up on Liberty first half and full game, +2 and +1.5. And Pete, can I ask you one last question? Pete, is this a bet on Liberty, betting on Liberty, or is this fading UAB, or is it both?
Sorry, I was about to do a Mick Fleetwood impression for Mike Deacon. Fading UAB. No, it's definitely a bet. I don't like fading UAB. UAB is legitimately, statistically, and preseason analysis-wise, a very tough team, and I don't like betting against them at all. Again, it's a small edge, according to my numbers, but a confident edge, so I made it an official play. But it's definitely a bet on Liberty, not a fade of UAB by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, thank you for that. And then in CFL, I'm doubled up on the Elks. First half, full game, -3.5 and -7. Pete moved on the Elks. First half, -3.5. Fap Win gave us a horse racing look. God, I wish I had have gotten a chance to jump on Birdie's look. God damn it. 8-1 he cashes here.
Amazing.
And there we go. Pistol Pete Loshak. It is. And here's Birdie's Bird Nest Builder NHL Parlay of the Day. I'll pop that in the chat as well. Pete, what a treat it is to have these Tuesdays with you, my friend. Any last words for the great cappers who also love this?
No, not really. Just remember, it's all about love, man. It might seem like it's all about sports betting winners, but it's really all about love, man. Peace.
There it is right there. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, we have nothing without you guys. Thank you for all your support, your insights, your humor. We've got a big NFL show. I had a rough week, but I'm still sitting at – what am I sitting at here? 29 wins, 19 losses, plus 7.7 units. ROI plus 16.04%. So I'm confident moving into week 4 and excited to hammer it with all you guys. So that's tonight, 8 p.m. Beat the Line with Rob Bebenek. All you guys, David Summers, Hugh, Direction, Mr. Gokester, The Real Jolly Roger, Deacon Mike, R, Brian Watson, Kenny Can, Dennis Trusty, Shamar, Slatsy, Ixnizzle. All you guys, thank you so much for your support. And truly, oh, there it is right there. It went to 11-1. Oh, that a boy, Birdie. Jesus, what the hell am I? God damn. Leaving money on the table. Birdie always fighting for us. Michael O'Brien, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. On behalf of Pistol Pete, Loshak, Jose Bouquet, everybody at Pub Sports Radio, let's have a giant day. Leche, and Los Bookmakers!